Good morning and welcome to the Deep South Teretonga Park Raceway for round 2 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. It's a double-header and is already going off. Yesterday was fantastic. We'll talk more about it in just a moment. Weather forecast today, actually as good as yesterday. The wind seems to have picked up and there is some talk, and I'll just say some talk of showers later on today. We'll forget about that because as soon as I do that, the sun comes out and the warmth comes into the place. Stephen McIvor with Joe Maulder in pit lane and ready to get going. Yesterday, cracking day. Pro Sport, Blake Miles, top qualified, goes and wins the whole thing. Then Dave Stephen comes in, the old boy. I shouldn't call him the old boy, but he feels like he's been here forever. Gets a really strong win against Connor Halligan. It was a top day. It was.
It was really good to see that the consistent top qualifiers popped through to the podium, but there were a few who dipped out in the top 8.
Yeah, when you think about Blake Miles, I actually think, and I was talking to someone about this, Case Pullenbury, how when he went through and cleaned up in Pro Sport, has that feeling, consistency being the key word?
Absolutely. He's quite clinical. It's almost looking like nothing can touch him.
Yeah, and then of course you get Dave Stephen, Connor Halligan. That was a story yesterday. Got knocked out early, then appealed because of a red light issue they didn't feel safe, yada, 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 gets through to the final, but then has issues and his temp goes up.
Yes, so I saw him actually caught him TIG welding his his radiator in the van this morning. Yeah. So he's fixed his overheating issues and hopefully he'll be back on form for today.
Because I tell you what, the way he qualified in P1 yesterday, that was probably one of the special runs we've seen in a long time, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, he threw everything at that.
Have we seen anyone stand out already in round 1 that can challenge these guys?
I think it's just going to be a bit touch and go because people such as Luke Fink didn't get any practice on this reverse section on Friday morning. So they've been throwing it all this morning and it's the first time in the dry. So it's going to be a challenge.
There was some discussion what was going on with Rody Knowles yesterday. Found out this morning they've gone to electric power steering. They had power steering issues because he was a little bit of a surprise. He'd qualified P4 and was looking strong and had to pull out. So there is a lot going on. This is round number 2. As part of the lot going on, there have been changes to some of the rules. And so this is what's going down in 2025-2026.
The 2025-2026 season is here and we are ready to battle for the D1NZ New Zealand Drifting Championship. This is your competition format for the weekend. There are some big rule changes again this year. Line, angle and style are the scoring criteria which contribute to a qualifying score out of 100. There is a new points weighting system in place for 2026, line now making up 60% of the total score, with both angle and style now making up 20% each. After qualifying, the drivers are then set into a seeded battle tree. Each driver has a turn at leading and chasing during the battles, aiming to set or better their qualifying performance. The big rule change for 26 will see the higher qualifier get lane choice on the start line, choosing to either lead or chase first during the battle phase. The tandem scores are marked against each of the drivers' lead and chase runs, comparing lead for lead, chase for chase, culminating to a win, lose or sudden death OMT to find the winner. And that is your format for the 2026 D1NZ New Zealand Drift Championship, live this weekend from Teretonga Park Raceway.
Now here is one of the changes for 2025-26. Lead judge, full-time Drift King Darren Kelly in the house, also the Logitech ambassador, because this is a little bit exciting. We spoke about it yesterday, the Logitech Virtual D1. What's going on? Because there's a lot of chatter about this amongst the younger ones.
Yeah, it's a very cool addition to the series. Obviously drivers and everyone use a lot of simulator training to, especially going to a track you haven't driven before and you want to feel it out and be prepared. Simulators have come a long way, and it's something we've wanted to do for a long time, is have a virtual series as well, which everyone can take part in and offer up some pretty amazing prizes.
Yeah, so it starts in January. D1NZ.com was where you register for Australia and New Zealand. The prize, a run in Pro Sport, a car to run in Pro Sport in 2027.
Now, we just heard about the changes of the judging system and the fact that the higher qualifier gets to choose whether they lead or chase. What impact did that have yesterday?
Yeah, so that's probably a relatively big change to the rules of how we've run in the past, but it's probably going to take a little bit of time for people to understand the advantage or where they could benefit from something like that. Yesterday we saw a lot of people, the lead drivers, still leading first, but as you see people get used to that change and maybe look at how it could be an advantage to them, you may see them changing their decision at future rounds.
Okay, we're not going to talk about going in a different direction because we're running close to getting to Pro Sport 32, but I hear there is good feedback on going the reverse direction. Speaking of direction, this is what the track looks like.
Well, it is time for the opening round of the D1NZ New Zealand Drifting Championship, and after nearly 6 years away, our Motorsport Roadshow makes a big return to the Deep South in Invercargill, hosting round 1 and round 2 of the series with a massive double-header weekend. Invercargill, of course, is where the legend of Burt Munro began, with motorcycles and motor racing history making up a big part of the local scene, with plenty of tourist opportunity in the central city and out abroad to Stewart Island and some epic Deep South New Zealand scenery. Teretonga Park is home to the Southland Sports Car Club, who are hosting us this weekend on the FIA Grade 3 circuit, just over 2.6 kilometres long, with our round 2 drift section starting from the end of turn 5, a rolling start through an initiation chicane, firing into a full throttle flick onto the right hand side of the track into the first outside zone. This reverse layout flows a lot differently, with a lot more throttle modulation needed through the midsection heading into outside zone 2 and OZ3, just 4 outside zones in this layout. Time now for the Logitech virtual track rundown, carrying some speed out of the first corner and flicking out towards the first zone on the right hand side, powering through to outside zone 2 with max points available within 1 to 1.5 metres of the track edge. Keep an eye on the lead car here through outside zone 3. There will be penalties for leaving the zone 2 early and shutting the chase car out during the tandem battles. Our judging officials this weekend are all former drivers, some of the heavyweight names of New Zealand drifting in the last decade. 4-time D1NZ champ Darren Kelly is back alongside Taylor James. Series veteran Andrew Redwood is also back in the judging seat, with Joel Counter keeping an eye on competition as our driving standards observer and review judge for 2026. Our penalties for this event have the usual suspects: wheel off track, always one to watch for. Straight lining the car will be a crucial one here on this fast layout. Excessive left foot braking will be another big one. You can use the left foot to settle the car with little dabs, but just using too much of it and slowing the car up will hand you a much bigger penalty over the guys who can stick it to the section at full throttle.
Two of the drivers that are going to have to tackle this today are the winners of round number 1. Dave Stephen wins Pro, Blake Miles wins round number 1 in Pro Sport. Congratulations, mate. The one word that comes to mind with your performance yesterday: consistency.
Yeah, consistency. I feel like that's what you need to be in the lead. Allow the chase driver to sort of get up on the door and open it up. If you're not consistent in your lead, it's really hard for the chase driver. So
no mechanicals, or better touch wood so nothing happens today. But just looking at the reverse track today, how will you approach it?
It's still really fast pace. I think this direction is going to be a lot better for tandem. Just open the door for the chase car a little bit. It's pretty technical on the last corner. So yeah, you've got to get it right.
Okay.
Dave, you came in P1 yesterday. Do you feel like there's a bit of a target on your back now that you've banked so many points?
Oh, I think that's always the case, you know, when you come out strong. So we'll just carry on today as per and really be fighting.
And have you had to change any setup in your car to attack this car, the direction, the different way?
Not really, no. We pretty much stuck with what we finished with yesterday. We made heaps of changes yesterday, but it feels good on this reverse section as well. So pretty much the same. We've changed, gone up 1 PSI in the tyre pressure. That's literally all. So
I did hear that some of the feedback was that they did need to dial some grip out, so increasing your PSI. Yesterday's setup worked for you, so hopefully it does again today.
Thank you very much.
All right, so there you go. The winners of rounds 1, Dave Steedman in Pro, Blake Miles in Pro Sport. Can they do the repeat? Let's find out. Let's go battling in round 2 of D1NZ National Drifting Championship. And of course, we start with Pro Sport.
Well, thank you, Stephen McIvor. Wonderful job as always down there pit side with the one and only Joe Maulder jumping into our commentary team this year. So we are live here at Teretonga, the southernmost race circuit in New Zealand and possibly even in the world. Taking a look at Josh La Rosa, one of the local boys out there, just getting some heat into the tyres. He is sponsored by Road Runner. Told us during the week he actually grew up in Auckland but headed south looking for a quieter lifestyle. RB RB power underneath the bonnet. It's a 25 DET. That means it is a single turbo. Fairly basic stock mods as you'd expect for a drift car. Produces about 500 odd horsepower. So see how he goes in his first run this morning. He was meant to be battling against Ryan Parry, but Ryan Parry has withdrawn from competition. We do know that he was driving the Rody Knowles car, or that's what he was entered in, but with Rody having a few issues yesterday, we think that he has just withdrawn and allowed Rody to focus on his pro campaign. Joining me in the commentary box for Pro Sport for the 25-26 season, Ben Jenkins. A big welcome to you, my friend. How are you this morning, mate?
Thank you very much. Great to be here to watch the East Town, the Pro Sports. It's going to be a good day. It's nice and dry outside. Just got out from some practice myself. The track is grippy. The judges have given us a great line, great section, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the seat.
Yeah, give us an overlay, mate. Just while we're watching a bye run there for Josh LaRosa, where are the key points going to be that fans need to be looking at today? Where's it going to be won or lost?
I think it's going to be won or lost after outer zone 2. So outer zone 2, it's very fast. If you miss your gear change or miss your setup for that corner, you're going to be off.
Alrighty, we'll see how your prediction plays out, and it was good to see you smiling today, mate. So you're having a good time out there on the track, enjoying yourself as we kick into our first battle run of this morning with Aidan Daly from the RHP team leading away the LS Powered S14 on double duties this weekend with brother Clayton also driving in pro. I have it on good authority there is a side wager between the Daly boys, $500 on who places higher in the round between the three of them. So kind of interesting there as Tyler Knowles has buried that car deep in that sand, and I'd say that's going to need to be recovered from there, Benny, because that is there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to stop you if you come off at speed. And we are running in a slightly different reverse direction this morning too, so interesting just to see how deep that did bury there for Tyler Knowles. GT Radio Replay. Ben, of course, is our technical commentator, so as we move through today, he'll pick these runs apart. Not too technical when you're in the sand, though, is it, mate?
That's right, that's right. Aidan Daly with a great lead here, straight out of the box, great initiation, and it looks like right at the end, either Tyler Knowles is playing the catch-up and made a mistake and ended up in the sand, or has been lost in a little bit of Aidan's smoke there. So unfortunate for Tyler Knowles, but Aidan Daly, he did struggle to get it initiated in time, but I think he just had it going by the 2 start cones. V8 S14 and RHP V8 S14 seems to be singing around these corners. It is a whole different beast, this track coming reverse.
Yeah, there's our 3 wise men on the screen too. We were introduced to them earlier. Taylor James, he's hat forward, Darren Kelly's hat backwards, and Andrew Redwood is no hat whatsoever, and no hair either. And I can say that because we're on Oversteer TV at the moment. We're not on Sky, so it's all right. I'm going to send. Actually, should we say good morning to the lovely Mrs. Redwood? I'm sure she'll be tuned in with young Zoe at home, and hello to Hayley. She'll be tuned in as well, and Tay's family too probably tuned in as well. Do you want to say hello to anyone, mate?
Hello to my family sitting at home. They're probably not watching. They're probably out for a Sunday breakfast, but that's all right.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Anthony Jenkins out somewhere.
Yeah, Troy will be there somewhere.
Yeah.
He'll be watching along, giving good messages and
good
support.
Now, did he actually offer you any tips yesterday, watching from where he was? Did he sort of jump onto the comms and send you a few pointers or whatever, or tell you what he thought you should be doing?
A lot. Troy gave some good pointers yesterday, and he told me to watch out for the last turn. And what did I do in my top 4 battle? I fell off the last turn. So as soon as I fell off that, I knew that Troy was going to be yelling at me.
Troy is probably one of the most analytical, almost to the point of overthinking drivers that I think we've probably had in the series. Sometimes it works really well for him, and other times it's almost been something. But obviously, when he's analysing your runs, it's fantastic, right?
Yeah,
he's giving you as much data as you can possibly absorb.
That's right. He's great because we've been driving together for the last 10 or so years. He created sort of a language together to be able to talk about the runs and things like that. So it's really good to have him in my corner this year to help me out.
Do you guys ever do the little side wager thing?
No,
we never do that. No,
we don't need to.
I guess you kind of shared the workshop and stuff, right? So it probably just went all into the communal pod anyway, right?
That's right. Yeah, no, it's just all out of us. So.
Yeah. Now I'm curious to see what happens here because
Tyler's
gone onto the sand, but then Aidan's pulled to the line, so I don't know whether that there used to be a rule around how long you could sit in that start box for. I'm sure our technical adjudicator will know exactly how that plays out. There have been a few tweaks and changes, and Stephen and Joe took us across some of those before. Of course, being the most interesting one probably for all of our fans is that adjustment to the very heavy line weighting, which we saw come into play through qualifying and in battles yesterday, with 60 points now on line and 20 for angle, 20 for style. So I think it's actually working really well.
Yesterday worked very well. Obviously watching and commentating for the Pro Sport yesterday and being in here is having a look at that, and then being a part of it as well. These judges, they are on point, they make the decisions fast, and they know what they want.
Yeah, I cheekily sort of said yesterday I thought it was giving you a bit of an advantage, but you're actually just watching a lot of different camera views all at the same time. It's not actually any different than what Ben would be doing in the pits anyway, because I know that you guys have a setup down there, as do most of the pro teams, where there's phones or tablets available to you guys, and you watch the live stream as well. So it's not actually giving you any real benefit, unless you consider having to sit next to me for multiple hours of benefit, and most people don't. So. No comment? No comment? No comment, Benny? Very quiet on that one, I expect. No, that's fine. Alrighty, we're moving through to the next battle, which will be John Atwood and Matthew Brown. And John Atwood's car was brutally fast yesterday, to the point where he actually couldn't keep it on the track.
That's right,
He
yeah.
flew off.
Very aggressive driver, John Atwood. That 900 horsepower barrier under the Laurel. And Matt Brown, he always gives us an exciting run. So this should be a good battle for these boys, and I believe both these cars, I saw them out in pro practice, so I think they're being double dutied.
Ah, right. I think I did hear potentially that Adam Whitehead might be driving Matt Brown's car, and I'm not sure, is it Scotty D maybe driving John Atwood's car? He did threaten to do that, but he tried to get himself into Pro Sport, I think, last year. Here we go, off the line. We'll roll with the L Branch Fabrication and Barra-powered Laurel out front, and it will be Matthew Brown. He's 13 in the chase position. Rolling through the start chicane there. Judge is pretty specific this morning, Ben, in terms of where the initiation point was.
Yeah, that's
we saw
right.
all of that come into play yesterday.
Yep, they're very...
Wow, Matthew Brown rockets up, but I don't think did he hold on track? Might have been flirting with the outside edge there. He's definitely not on the track there, and that's another one in the sand trap. What did you say before, mate? The last corner, was it? Is that what Troy said to you?
The second last corner here is going to be critical for setup for the last corner. So that is our out of zone 2 on this track, on this layout.
It's actually a direct reversal of yesterday. This is the same things we saw yesterday, where Kesko refers to it as overspeeding.
That's right.
And you're trying to play catch up. When you get lost in the smoke, you lose your bearings a little bit and you just fire off the track. Because am I right in thinking that the arc doesn't look that natural going that way in that final section? Or it's certainly challenging.
When you get the setup perfect from out of zone 2, there's
right
a perfect arc through. You can keep it for full throttle.
Yeah.
As John Atwood here
just
displays.
Yeah. Just
it was slightly inner, probably, but doesn't matter because Matthew Brown was already on his way out to the weeds. So
yeah. Now, a lot of debate yesterday about whether the pro class cars, you guys with the semi-slick, seem to be having more challenges maybe with the section, just that fine knife edge balance versus the pro sport guys. Certainly once we saw the top 8 pro sports, you and I were enjoying the show that they put on yesterday, right? Like I don't believe there was a great deal of difference between what we saw yesterday from the pro sport sort of top 8 onwards and the pro battles.
Yeah, yesterday was tricky in the afternoon for our pro battles. The track, everything had changed from the morning. The cars are so fast now. The tyres on these cars are incredibly fast. Connor Halligan and I practicing this morning. I just can't believe how fast these cars have gotten.
If you've got access to social media, and you obviously have, right? Jump onto social media and have a look at that in-car video of Connor Halligan's and just how ridiculously fast it must feel and look from inside the cabin, because I watched that this morning and I saw Brodie Marr, who's definitely a very aggressive and quick driver, just said like that speed is phenomenal.
It's crazy. It's crazy what we're doing now. It's almost too fast for what I'm thinking. But
well,
hey.
we did. So you and I did have this debate yesterday whether at some point for potentially the development or the well-being of the sport, there might be a move to go back to running a 265 radial and just running one class, just because it might possibly bring things back within the realms of New Zealand motorsport being able to sustain what it's doing. I mean, obviously you look at a Drift Masters with a controlled tyre or FD, there's just a different scale over there in terms of, I mean, you guys are $250,000 into a hole really with a pro build car, right?
That's right.
And I'm going to guess it's a $50,000 to $75,000 budget to run a season without a major mechanical. So it's very expensive what you guys are doing, and it's just, there'll be a question at some point in time in terms of where things kind of eventually sit, and it's a question for another day, but it's something that is worth thinking about, considering the popularity of some of the 235 radial kind of challenges that have popped up and some of the other events that are sort of now occurring where you're seeing a move perhaps more towards a more open style of tyre. And you and I were talking about yesterday, obviously, things like Sam Rowson. We hadn't seen a Bridgestone tyre being run before in Pro Sport, but it looked like it was going really well. And
definitely, I think
Matthew Brown has just advised race control he is taking his 5 minutes, so John Atwood will need to pull aside. Tyler Knowles, I think, has also called his 5, so hopefully we're going to move through to Isaac Aldridge, Dan Smith, but it is Dan Smith sitting there behind, isn't it? Yeah. See his car there. You ever ridden one of those three-wheeler things?
No, never have.
I'm not sure whether they're any safer or whether I almost feel like maybe they'd be a little bit more scary to ride. Those little three-wheel trikes.
You put one on, it slid pretty fast, wouldn't you?
Hey, it's very early for you to be abusing my driving abilities already. I only rolled a car 5 or 6 times in one go. It was a barrel roll, and I landed on the wall at Wairarapa Park, but we'll talk about that another day.
Just touching back on the tyre debate, obviously it's a big debate at the moment of what we're doing, but
yeah,
the show events, the LZ World Tour and things like that, all have a control tyre, which is a lot slipperier. It's a street tyre, which puts on a damn good show, right? But these competitions, we need to be on these big tyres because we need to groom champions and groom New Zealand professionals to be able to go overseas to verse the likes of these Drift Masters boys. So as you can see, Connor Halligan's car gripped up, my car gripped up. That's what we want to do. We want to go and compete with these guys because we need to be on the same sort of tyres they are in these big championships around the world. Because if we're not, and we go to the likes of World Time Attack, and we go to the likes of a Drift Masters round, or a Formula Drift round, then we're definitely on the lower hand because we have not had the experience at that time.
Right. Okay, and I understand that, and we'll expand on that further after this run, because let's take a look at Isaac Aldridge, currently sitting in 4th place overall in the Pro Sport points for Landmark Homes. Definitely came to life in battles that Isaac Aldridge had a little catch up with him last night. They get a burger fuel for feeding the team, by the way. Burger fuel fueling D1NZ as Digger Dan attacking the rear of the Isaac Aldridge car, and he's gone off track as well. Have we had a complete run yet? No.
I don't think we have. There's definitely a couple of errors here made by Isaac Aldridge. I did notice straight out of the start line, poor Digger Dan, waiting for Isaac Aldridge to go. He was definitely slow out of the box. We don't want to see that here. You need to be flat around that chicane, around that corner.
So that's what you're talking about there. So
right at the start line.
Because he can't exceed the lead car, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Poor Digger Dan, stuck in the back there. It was a bit of a slow start from Aldridge, but then Aldridge...
Oh, Isaac was going to over-rotate.
He over-rotated in the final corner, so Digger Dan has got nowhere to go. He's had to go off to the right.
So this is one of the... I always find this really interesting about pro sport is you can... a lot of the guys will have one really good result, and then the next day they come out and it's almost like a completely different driver, and I think that's just learning the consistency and the setups, etc. Because you can see there that there's he's going to over-rotate, and Digger Dan's got nowhere to go. He's got to push out wide.
That's right.
Send him off the track, and that therefore falls into, you would think, that unchaseable lead.
Yep, definitely. Isaac Aldridge made a massive mistake there on that final turn and causing Digger Dan to make evasive action and turn off to the right. But it is hard, I tell you. Double headers, 2 rounds, 3 days of driving. You practice both tracks on the first day, and then a round 1 and a round 2. Like, for your mentality to switch off, change your complete routine of what you're doing for the track, and to adjust to the new track, it is very hard.
Yeah. Now, just while we're looking at this again, because we kind of know what's happened here, where the judges are effectively just going to have to make a decision as to whether Isaac he's over-rotated there and he's left Digger Dan nowhere to go. What I was going to ask, just expanding on that tyre question, I understand fully what you're saying around needing to run on that competitive tyre. Would it be feasible to run, say, these 3 big high horsepower tracks on a semi-slick and then run a radial tyre for Gisborne and Bay Park, how much setup change would that require for a top-level pro car? Is that something that would work, or is it too hard to dial grip back out of the car, so to speak, or readjust it?
It'd just be a massive change. You'd have to do a test day on a radial tyre compared to that, because the tyre technology from a radial to these semi-slicks we're running is just unbelievable. Okay. Here we go, Digger Dan getting out of the box a little bit faster than Aldridge did, switching into that first turn. Not too bad from our man Dan there. Isaac Aldridge sneaking up into that pocket. Dan just shutting him out a touch after out of zone 2, but got a complete run, I think, Warren.
Yeah, I think, yeah. It's, and I like the fact we've had a complete run. It's taken us to 1, 2, 3, yeah. It's taken us 5 battles to get to that point, which is a bit unfortunate, but it kind of does demonstrate the fact that if you are tuned in on the live stream, this is the development series. These guys are all finding their way in their drift careers. We're taking a look at the GT Radial replay. GT Radial was the official replay sponsor for D1NZ for the 25-26 season. This is Digger Dan Smith out front, Isaac Aldridge for Landmark Homes in the chase position. If you have just joined us, there'll be a pointed debate on the first run as to whether Isaac was going to over-rotate and left Digger Dan nowhere to go. And based on what we saw yesterday, our judges have been pretty ruthless in their judging calls and the decision quite rapidly, so I would expect something to lock in pretty quickly here and move us on to the next battle, which should be the now engaged Johnny Burns. Congratulations again to he and his fiance and local man Rob Neely with that unique motor underneath one. Sorry, my apologies. We are going to run the second half of the Aidan Daly and Tyler Knowles battle first. So here's the call from Stephen. Daniel Smith goes through. Digger Dan.
Well done, Digger Dan. Obviously, that big mistake from Isaac Aldridge with the slow start and the over-rotation at the final turn.
Is it his first comp win?
I think he's won a couple. I think he's won a couple.
Yeah.
He's a handy little peddler of Digger Dan.
I just, for some reason in my mind, Dan has just always been very aggressive, and it's almost like he's sometimes beaten himself. It's just what I can remember, and he's obviously been part of staff as well, so he's been doing lots of different things, and I think sometimes he's prioritised working as part of the crew over his own driving, which is something he's obviously not doing this season, with a focus on campaign, having brought his car all the way down to the deep south here. And we roll off the line here with Tyler Knowles to lead this time, flaming on the side of that car for the 25-26 season for Tyler Knowles. Goes by the handle, is it Racing? Oh no, it's shut down. And that will send Aidan Daly through to the top 16. That is,
I don't actually know what happened there. It looks like Tyler Knowles was trying the feint initiation, and maybe he's had a mechanical, maybe blown another gearbox.
You brought this up yesterday. You thought he maybe only had first and third?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only had
so you
first
confirmed
and
that
third.
with him? Yeah, right, okay. That's why you're here as a technical expert, Benny. Yeah, I don't speak mechanical, so I'm glad that you're here and you can recognise these things as probably as a man who has also broken many of these things over the course of your drift journey and your learnings.
A lot of synchro gearboxes in the past. Yeah, it looks like Tyler Knowles initiated, and there was just nothing go after that. So.
Right, and at that point there, that just becomes a win to Aidan Daly, because there is no way he can chase that. The car's shut down, incompleted on the lead. Now, for purposes of clarity, if you are the lead car and the chase car was to shut down, you do still need to complete your run. But if you are in the chase position, you do not need to. Good chance to welcome you all in this morning to Teretonga here in Invercargill. A big warm welcome to you all, and thank you for joining us here at the D1NZ National Drifting Championship, now an officially sanctioned Motorsport New Zealand Championship, which is a fantastic win for all of the team. And thank you to all of our sponsors, Link ECU, who sponsor the start line, GT Radial, Logitech, SMICMIC, Ting Tools, who sponsor the podium. That you want to get your hands on that toolbox, don't you, Benny?
It's very close yesterday.
Yep, and Mimico, who sponsor VIP. So I do love the fact that you can arrive and grab your favourite viewing posse here at Invercargill's Teretonga. Park on up, sit in the boot of your car, or as we saw yesterday, a couple of guys with the couches on the back of the utes. How good was that?
Wasn't it a wild day yesterday?
It was. There was, yeah. I'm thinking back.
Some local debris.
Yeah, debris. It was very much. It was very Bathurst-like, wasn't it? Debris.
Debris.
That's what I heard.
Debris.
I think we should get. You know Fabian Coulthard, don't you?
I don't know Fabs.
No, I thought you did. I thought you spent a bit of time around a few of those supercar drivers over the years.
Yeah, a couple of lads. That's for sure. Yep.
Alrighty, we're going to go. So this is the delay here. It is Tyler Knowles' car. Appears maybe that's more significant, Ben, or would it just jam in gear? Maybe we'll not be able to run. Okay, eagle-eyed spotters out there suggesting that maybe there was a fire in the engine bay of Tyler's car. So would that suggest like a rod out the block or something?
Maybe if we could grab a replay there of Tyler Knowles leading.
Could be fuel. I mean, we've sort of.
Maybe.
Hey, if you're a social media follower of the sport, I mean, how viral's that video of Brodie Mars from last year gone? I mean, I think it's something like 60 million views or something of that fire he had at Manfield.
That's right.
And then he's obviously done a bit of analysis since then, as Brodie is prone to doing, and to studied with the outcomes. So for the first time today, welcome to Joe Maulder in pit lane.
We've got Sheldon Neal here. Now, he went out on Friday and he did an all right qualifying lap, but he did have mechanical issues, which put him out for yesterday. Tell us about the car that you've wrangled to borrow for today's competition.
Yeah, so massive thank you to my mate Sean Binnemer. He and Dill, after the motor failed, basically instantly chucked the trailer on the truck and headed to Dunedin, grabbed the car. So now we're piloting a RB25 Neo, TDI sequential 180, so it makes about 660 horsepower. So it's a bit more than what my SR makes, but it's just a different car compared to mine. So yeah, stoked as.
Awesome. Well, you're looking comfortable. We'll head back to the track.
Thank you, Joe. Great job down there as we welcome to the broadcast team yesterday, and you certainly found your feet down there keeping Stephen McIvor company as we release Johnny Burns and Rob Neely. That unique engine combination, Ben.
Both cars.
In both cars.
Johnny Burns got a massive lead here. Rob Neely with a very interesting initiation in the chase, but Johnny Burns is powering out front, grabbing all the clips, all the zones. It's a very, very good lead run from Johnny Burns.
Almost hexing, mate. Was it?
Almost a touch.
Flirted with the edge. I was curious there to see whether that was Rob Neely's strategy, because we did see yesterday that car certainly had plenty of pace.
That's right.
And I did wonder if he was maybe just sitting back to play a game, expecting that he would catch up to Johnny Burns, but then maybe Johnny Burns with a little bit more pace than maybe Rob expected. And then this is all you, mate. Just you talked him up and then out to the outside of the edge. Oh, he just flirted with it.
Only dropped the tyres. It was still a great lead run from Johnny Burns with a minor deduction at the end. Yeah. Rob Neely playing catch up throughout the whole lap. Rob Neely had a pretty opposite lock initiation there at the start, which definitely starved him a bit of proximity on the Johnny Burns car. But Johnny,
how hard is it to make up ground on this track? Just because it's a bit awkward in its layout. Like if you gap like that, is it possible still? Or?
It definitely is on a grippy tyre and a grippy setup, but I think it's a little bit tough when you have probably a 235 radial. It might be a bit tough to play the catch-up game, you know?
Big ask, because obviously even though these guys have got plenty of power, so Rob Neely I think had about 600 horsepower or thereabouts, but trying to put it through a radial tyre as opposed to the semi-slick that you're talking about there, Ben. You did mention unique engines though. Johnny Burns with the SR20 VVL engine.
That's right, it's a SR20 VET of Johnny Burns. It's a pretty damn cool SR20 that he has under that bonnet. They are an expensive custom motor, which is a front-wheel drive head on a rear-wheel drive block. Right. And Rob Neely, I believe he had a VQ30?
Yeah, it's a VQ 33D ET, which means it's a single turbo. HRE have got involved in the build, and then it's got a VQ 35DE crank. So it's a fully built motor.
Wow.
But yeah, very different, very cool. Certainly was very fast yesterday. Rob is a man after my own heart, simply because he put on his entry form that he's a grumpy old man. And I do appreciate anyone who describes himself as a grumpy old man. It's a person who's after my own heart. Again, a warm welcome to you all here for the D1NZ National Drifting Championship round number 2, coming to you from Teretonga. We're in reverse direction today after crowning a round 1 winner yesterday with Blake Miles winning the Pro Sports over Riley McEwen, and Dave Steadman yesterday getting the victory over Connor Halligan in the Pro class. So just to update you on how things look at the moment, it is Blake Miles leading the points table in Pro Sport with 114 over Riley McEwen on 90, and then Sam the Mo Rowson on 80. So pretty good start to the campaign for Blake Miles. Who is he going to be the benchmark? Is he going to do the perfect snake eyes the whole season, the 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1? Guess we'll find out as we look at battle number 2 for Rob Neely and Johnny Burns. And this is more what we expected there, Benny. Plenty of aggression from both Robs. Johnny Burns not afraid to put it right up there on the rear quarter of Rob Neely. Maybe just a little bit of an experience there on that transition, just at the back out of it.
It's a hard transition. I had that in practice with Connor Halligan. The exact same thing that pretty much happened. Well, not the exact same thing. I blew off the track and blew my bumper apart, but
well, you do like crashing into people.
Johnny Burns here, doing a great initiation, great little chase, jumping in the pocket. He is stuck a little bit in the smoke, grabs a tyre on the inside and just checks up as Rob Neely has a slow transition back into that last section. So Johnny Burns kind of nowhere to go there. He had to make that adjustment to not make contact with the lead car. So he has come through that battle.
So do you think it's, I think it's fair to say what we see a lot in pro sport is, I would call it drivers beating themselves, as opposed to the chase. Like until we get to kind of the top 4, maybe you don't tend to see the chase car really out driving the lead car, but we see a lot of the just finding the feet and just adjusting lines, etc. is what affects a lot of the pro sport competitors, and that's just because they are developing. It's what's a development series. Matthew Brown will have an opportunity to lead this time, but John Atwood will have, I believe, in it. Now, why is that going? Are they going really slow?
Very slow around that first corner. You need to be full throttle getting ready to the end of the section. So Matthew Brown, I'd say the judges mark him down and touch there off that slow entry. But
see, I feel like John Atwood's been hugely impacted there because he hasn't been able to have a run up, and it's just made it very.
Matt Brown then trying to use the power of the car to chuck it in. It probably makes a lot of power, that car. I think it's up around the 600 kilowatt mark. Poor John Atwood.
Yeah, John's sort of been unable to really maintain a drift, just because I think, based on the speed of that car, if he actually had stood on it the whole way, I think he would have just drilled straight into Matt Brown.
That's right. But I think John Atwood there, all he needed to do was grab a couple of points in that run to be able to move forward. So I think John will be happy that he can get back to the trailer and set back up for his top 16 battle.
Yes. Quite good. I think John Atwood's probably one of those who could take the fight to our current series leader. I know we're very, very early into proceedings at the moment, but just looking at how things stack up, you can find all of the battle trees available online, and it is official there. Johnny Atwood gets the call. And how good has it been to see that famous sticker again adorning a car in D1NZ competition? The Drift Corps, the legends of the far north, pioneers of drifting early in New Zealand, and actually the first 2 champions ever of D1NZ, JT Wharidao and Justin Roode, the grandfathers of drifting in New Zealand. JT still active and pursuing his drift dreams over in Japan at the moment, while Justin Roode these days a bit more of an exponent of RC drifting.
RC drifting, and he's building some pretty wild cars up there. The old Hex Slam. He's just built a new Ford Ranger, and he's slammed it and he's backed it.
I did hear a rumour though that there are whispers of potential ex-champions appearing at Pukekohe. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. We didn't really give any names away. I still reckon you know who's coming, but you just won't tell me. You just wouldn't feed me that spoiler. But rumours of former champions and internationals coming to Pukekohe Park to take on the likes of yourself, Benny, as we take a look at Bradley Knight.
Bradley Knight, unfortunately, failed to initiate there. That has messed the whole run-up. Jordan Richards shuts it down. That is going to be a 10-0 Jordan Richards, because unfortunately
Bradley Knight's just had a rough campaign since he came out and qualified really well on Friday. it's just like something's gone wrong on just about every run for him.
That's right. That's right. It's just, I think it's catching a few people out. That start initiation, you have to be flat tack from that start chicane to be able to initiate that car. So whether it's in a mechanical or whether it just wouldn't get out to angle, you have to find out from Bradley Knight. But there's a lot of commitment needed for that first turn. You need to be flat stick and you need to be initiating hard.
Jordan Richards did tell me he did crash into a couple of people in practice, so he's certainly a driver who's pushing hard and wanting to make up for his little incident on Friday. If you haven't seen the clip of that yet, Jordan Richards flirting with the track edge, dug a wheel in and just basically destroyed pretty much every rear suspension component in that car, and the team had to thrash pretty hard overnight just to get that thing back out on track for battles yesterday. But getting a couple of wins under his belt will certainly cheer Jordan and his camp up somewhat. Man from just up north of Auckland, sponsored by Senate Nursing. It is a beautifully put together blue and white S15 for Jordan Richards and his team, and I know that there's a bit of know-how in that car from the PB camp, Benny. So yeah, I know that they've had a bit of a hand in passing on some setup tips to both Jordan and Darren Murray, who we'll see later on. I think around Gisborne, another driver who is also pretty solid behind the wheel. So we switch over now, and hopefully Bradley Knight and Jordan Richards can put on the show that I think we know that they're capable of, Ben. I want to see this one go. I want to see Jordan throw down fast, and I think Bradley's got the speed to go with him. It's just early in the morning, so we might just let this one breathe, Ben, and listen to some Nissan engine sounds.
Jordan Richards with a stellar lead there. They're showing us exactly what he is capable of doing. That 2J S15 seems to be well set up for this round two.
Was there a limiter in the car, Ben? I mean, I couldn't tell from that, could you?
I can feel it in the commentary box.
Isn't it one of the cool things about doing this job? Like, we're locked off in a little box off to the side of the track, but every now and then there's something that just adds to the experience, and you feel it, and it shakes the trailer, and it's pretty cool just to add to our experience here, and I'm sure our live audience as well appreciate that. And whenever people say, oh, is there a live stream or is there whatever else, there's nothing that quite beats being at Motorsport Live. And I think if you can get to Invercargill today, or you can get to Pukekohe, if you can get to that new round at Gisborne, or you can join us at Bay Park, then grab those tickets and come and see some of the best in New Zealand just throwing down and putting on a show, and feel it, hear it, see it. Become a drift addict like Ben and I.
We can't stay away. It's definitely a different feeling though, being locked away in a box at the live racetrack, I tell you. Here we go, Zali Mayer, Higgins from Christchurch. Battle of the Rails. It's going to be a good little battle.
Young Z sitting in 12th place on points. Got the win yesterday. I learned some pretty cool things just having a chat with her and her mum earlier on today, and she is definitely feeling better each and every run. She's feeling confident, and she just wants to go out there and get better and better, and she just wants to do it for the girls and just prove that they can. Look at the angle. She's cracked through there. Get it, girl, get it. Keep it on the track. Oh, closed right down on Higgins, who ranged up on the rear there, but
definitely a great lap from Zalia in front, but a little bit shallow through the sections, but hey, she made it through. Liam Higgins caught napping a little bit at the start there.
I don't think that car's too like, it's a big car, right? But Nick and the team, Nick of course is Zalia's dad, who spanners the cars, has got that thing pretty well sorted. I don't think it's shy of horsepower.
Yeah, I think Zalia just being a little bit shallow into the zone, the first zone, catching Liam Higgins a little bit out on the start. Liam staying in the zone a bit further, which then created the separation between the two of the rails. So as we came to the outer zone 2.
Oh, that's what you're talking about there,
right,
just the shallow flick across.
The shallow flick across, Liam Higgins onto his the judge's allocated line. He probably should have just followed it though. The judges are saying that. They're saying that in our briefings. They're saying if the lead car goes off, follow them, chase them.
Yeah. Use the lead car as the mobile clipping point, which has kind of been sort of always been the 101 of drifting. Over previous years, there's always been a lot of debate as to whether that whole fallback onto the judges' line is the right thing to do. But this year's panel of 3 wise men have definitely been very specific in wanting to see close on the door battles. So Zalia's got 550 horse, and Liam Higgins, just looking at my information sheet here, 650 horse. So similar. I imagine sort of weight-wise, etc. So very evenly matched cars really here, I would imagine, Ben, and it's all going to be down to the commitment and the bravery of the drivers here. Let's see what Higgins does in the lead position here. There's a bit more of a separation there. Daliamir does initiate where required.
Nice run up there from Liam Higgins. Nice run up. A lot of commitment, a lot of throttle. This is quite a nice lead line from Liam. He's in the zones a bit where he needs to be.
He's put the wheels off.
Chase. Unfortunately, that's probably the way of Liam Higgins.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Ben. You picked up on the first that first initial switch there was the crucial point, and it wasn't it. There wasn't a lot of room left there for Liam, and that I imagine will see an advantage to him. But we'll wait for that to officially lock in, and Stephen McIvor will basically, he does a little dance and he points. Is it quite fun to watch? Is it quite fun as a driver to be part of that? Like, you're sort of sitting there. Do you still have the nerves, or do you kind of know, Ben? Do you know what he's going to do? Or?
I don't get the nerves anymore when I'm competing.
Right.
I haven't had them for a couple of years, but you get the nerves when you're sitting there watching him flailing his arms around.
Right.
That's when the nerves come in, because you're like waiting to know whether or not you have won the battle or not, or if you do know you've won it, it's still nerve-wracking.
So you're full comms, right? Yes, so you probably have a pretty good idea, but most of the pro sport boys, I don't imagine, are full comms.
That's right, yeah. I think many of the pro sport boys have in-ears. I've got in-ears, which go into my balaclava and into my ears. My boys can talk to me at any point.
That's because you like to crash into things and you need to tell them what they need to fix when you're coming back. We need this, this, and this.
Oh,
sorry.
Wow.
Zalia Mir gets the win. Z goes through. Can you hear that? Can you hear that crowd reaction? Did you hear the pop on the back?
Well done, Zalia Mir. There's definitely something there that I haven't seen from the boys. That's why they have that important job, not me.
Benny, I'd written down Liam already. I actually thought it was going the other way. But Z gets the win, and it's going to battle Jordan Richards.
Wow.
That's going to be a step up in speed. Now, speaking of step up in speed and wild, Riley McEwen, we know how fast he is, and Cameron Omlivray, the entertainer, the wild man, the big L dog.
Cameron Omlivray yesterday, entertainer from the start line. One of his crew needed to tell him yesterday that you need to initiate with the cones and not initiate at the D1NZ start line.
We talk about the delis always smiling, but Cam Omlivray, I'll tell you what, he's Guy Smiley as well. He's always having a good time out there, and so is his crew. And shout out and a welcome to the whole Omlivray family and the McEwen family as well. Ross and Michelle are here.
Riley McEwen with a nice initiation to start.
Straight back, yeah. But here comes Omlivray. He's got some power. The twin turbos on the side of the LS, and then he... Oh, sorry, mate. Every time. This is why I'm not nice to people, Ben, because every time I get excited about a run, I hex them.
Cam Omlivray is going to need some retrieving from the sand trap over there. Yeah. Welcome to the beach club over there. Welcome to the beach club for Cam Omlivray.
It's not the kind of resort you want to be going to at this time of the year, though, Benny.
It's not. Unfortunately, he's just a bit erratic. He needs to just tone it down a touch, I feel, for Cam Omlivray, and he might be able to keep him on the track.
I've talked about him before being a bit like the example I use is a bit like Sam West. He's either 80% or he's 120%. There's no middle ground, right? And if you can drive, I describe it as, I think you do this quite well. You drive at 102%. You're just on the ragged edge where you get into the... Well, you get into the point of you're pushing someone to do something where it's not just comfortable, because I think just being comfortable is no longer good enough to win in the pro class.
That's right.
Like, because as we've talked about, you've got someone like Luke, you've got Dave, Adam, you've got Connor Halligan, those guys who are just so aggressive now. You do have to bring something a little bit extra to win a battle now, and that's why I talk about 102% being where you need to be. You can't just be at 100.
I just don't think that gets you to that top step any longer. 120 sends you off into the gravel like that, and I reckon you and I saw a couple of 150% yesterday.
There definitely was. I think
the guys who tried to drive all the way to Bluff.
I think I did 1 or 2 of those in my top 4 battles yesterday for sure, but you've just got to push so hard now in these pro battles. Everyone, the talent from 24, or how many entries we have in pro, 24 to 1, the talent there is incredible, and anyone can win it on any day. So you've got to push to the max, but it's just how you get back.
So what are the boys, just out of interest, Tom, your spotter?
Yep.
Also one of your sponsors, right?
Yes, correct.
From TM Electrical.
TM Electrical.
Shout out TM Electrical if you need some electrical work done in the greater Auckland region, by the way. What does he say to you? Is he quite simple in his instructions? Is he sort of faster, slower, like?
He's very brutal, old Tommy. He tells me exactly what I need to know. He tells me what I need to know is most important. If I'm doing badly, he tells me I'm doing badly, which is what you need. You don't need it sugar-coated. You don't need your team telling you that was an amazing run if you were flamboyant and out there on the track but not hitting any of the zones. You need them to be right honest and telling you what you need to do. And I think it plays a massive role in professional drifting. You need to have someone in your ears. You can talk to them on the back run in between battles on the back straight, and it plays a big role in developing your skills and developing the track, most importantly, from practice all the way through to your battles.
I remember I've had this conversation with you and your brother in the past, and I remember saying to you both when you were early in your drifting career, it's not my job to be your cheerleader. Leave that for your friends and family, because they're going to tell you that it's the sickest run ever every time you drive, because they're proud of you being out there. But in terms of, from a development point of view, you actually want somebody to say to you, we need more here or we need less here. This is how you improve, because that's the point of development. I think this is just a safety check. This is the same issue I wonder if they had yesterday. I wonder if the repairs they've made, maybe just the steering doesn't feel quite right to Cam on the Bray.
Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know what the go was. It looked like Cam on the Ray's crew had made their way out onto the racetrack. Maybe.
Can you do that?
But no, you cannot do that.
You cannot do that.
It needs to be involved in your 5-minute call if you're going to pull into the pits. So
because hands were put on the car.
Yeah.
So
very interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether they do just. I wonder if the clerk of course will effectively just strike his 5 minutes for that, because hands were placed on the car.
Maybe.
I think if you were wanting to do that, you would have had to come around to the Linky CU start box.
Correct.
You could have had Willie or one of the staff possibly do that safety check for you, but yeah, crew hands have been placed on the car. So this is going to be interesting here just to see what gets said.
Very interesting there.
We do sort of, we do learn things as we go sometimes with, can you rescrub? Are you agreed to do that? How many top? Oh, I suppose he didn't complete a run, did he? So maybe he's got plenty of tyre left.
Interesting. Very interesting what's just gone on, Warren. Here we go. Riley McEwen is now in the chase position. I would say this is going to be possibly a tough chase for Riley, but all he needs to do is keep on the black stuff.
Well, it's an unpredictable lead, isn't it?
It's going to be.
In fairness, that is the only way you can describe it. You're not really sure what's going to happen.
That's right.
With Cam in the lead, it could be just brutally fast and he might ace the whole section, or you have to have an awareness of what happened the previous run where kind of find the sand. So I would imagine that Ross is in the ears of, so he's hit a cone there, so that's a penalty, isn't it, on entry?
It is indeed. Came on the right. It's a little bit erratic there, stacking on a little touch too much angle, which has not set him up for outside zone 2. Coming through there. Oh,
so that's what I was talking about. Like, that's what scares me.
Oh, that was
so for Riley McEwen, who is Riley McEwen's second in points at the moment. He just cannot afford to be caught up in someone else's mess. That is the risk you run. Unfortunately, I know what he's trying to do in terms of he wants to get his eye in, because I'm sure Riley McEwen's had a look at this draw and gone, right, I can see who's coming up potentially, and I know where I need to be at top 8, top 4, etc. But yeah, just some of these erratic runs, and I'm not saying that to be overly critical or hurt anyone's feelings. It's just a reality of what we're watching. You probably do need to dial them back just that 5 or 10%. And I hope that Cam is getting that feedback in the pits from the more experienced crews in terms of maybe you do need to, I mean, maybe you pull 100 horse out of it or something or other and just focus on hitting the lines at 85%, 90%, then 95. Kind of the fair way to describe it, Ben, I'd call it the creeping approach. It's the Dave Steadman steady as she goes approach, because Dave is incremental, right? In his runs, he goes and does stuff, then he goes again, because he's a very practiced and studious driver, and we talked about that with your brother is like that, as an analytical driver as well. He goes out and he'll start at 70, then he's 75, then he's 80, and he finds his comfort zone. I think that's what you learn as you develop as a driver, because you just can't go out and throw the car off the track. It's just not good for it. So
that's right. Cam on the road definitely has some development to do for his further rounds. The fella there, maybe he's got some car issues in the front. I don't know. But
what scares me, Benny, is we're going to Pukekohe next.
That's right.
And that is unforgiving. And Stephen's going to have a chat with Mr. Daddy Funded.
That's going to follow everywhere, Riley McKeown, Daddy Funded. Hey, mate, congratulations. You've been given the battle, so you move on in round number 2. What did you make of that just last moment?
Yeah, fuck. Sorry. Nah, just pretty lucky to be able to avoid that, but yeah, nah, just don't blame him for anything.
How do you feel today after how it went down yesterday?
Yeah, I'm still pretty stoked, pretty pumped for today. Yeah, just try and get similar results.
Okay, remember, no more potty mouth. There's your last warning. All right, so Riley McKeown goes through. Here we keep going.
So good to see Riley McKeown going through there. He is a talented driver, and we will see him in the 16. Here we go, Sheldon Neal up against one of the Daly brothers. Great looking Sean Binham, 180 SX. Sheldon Neal probably not much practice in the 180 chassis of Sean Binham's. As we see Mitch Daly, a little bit of a late switch into the first section for Mitch Daly, but he got it going in the end. He grabs out to the outer zone 2 quite nicely, staying a little bit mid-track, maybe a touch too much in the front, as we see both drivers off in the smoke. We lost them for a second there. Mitch Daly ended up in the sand. Sheldon Neal looks like he is okay to continue on. That was a little bit of a dicey moment for both of the boys. We lost them in the smoke there. Sheldon Neal car, the Sean Binham Sheldon Neal car looks to be all okay, as our talented track crew are going to have to retrieve that RHP 86 out of the sand trap.
Put ahead in the team from Smart Steel, our official recovery crew for the entire D1NZ season. The Daly boys are not afraid to push to 120% either, Benny. They're always entertaining to watch, and as you heard me mention earlier, there is that little side wager going in terms of who places higher in competition. Great to see Sheldon Neal has been able to find his way back into competition behind the wheel of the scene Benham car. I think that's a ex-New Zealand performance car feature car as well, from memory. I think I saw an article or two about at least one of those builds.
Sean Binham builds some beautiful cars.
Do you know if he's, just out of interest, do you know if Sean is related to Roger, who does the drag racing as well?
That's correct. I believe Roger is his father.
Right, because he had a Honda Civic, right?
And then he had a very, very fast, I think, a door slammer.
Yeah.
Sean himself, he'll probably correct me soon, but I think Sean himself is building a pretty fast 2JZ Camaro. One of the boys probably text me in a second, but
yeah,
drag racing family from down here, Sean Dunedin boy.
We've got 2 of them, right? So the Omblive Rays are drag racing family as well. So we go down now to Joe in the pits.
We've got Joshua LaRosa here as a local boy. He didn't have it too much luck yesterday, but today, tell us how you've gotten lucky with your buy run.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Ryan, his car, I think, blew up on Friday, so... But fortunately for me, yeah, I've had 2 buy runs in the top 32, so into top 16 against Blake today. So I'm struggling a little bit with the diff ratios and on the entry, so I'll just go hard and see what happens.
Best of luck out there.
How good is it to have the local boys competing, Benny? And did they share anything with you guys in the pits, or are they keeping that local knowledge to themselves?
Yeah, that's right. I haven't spoken to many of the locals. couple of the boys, Sheldon Neal, obviously from Christchurch, he's given me a couple of little tips over the weekend. But yeah.
Did you listen to them?
I don't know if I listened.
See, this is why your spotter has to be blunt with you, because from time to time, Benny, you can be a little bit in your own world. I think that's what Stephen was saying to you yesterday, wasn't he? You were just in your own little zone there in the car. You were locked in.
I do not know what you're talking about, Warren.
Hey?
I have no idea.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I've been telling you the same thing for the last 10 years as I've watched you develop from a pro sport champion through to the very genuine pro contender that you are this year. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, with sincerity. So
the nicest thing
it might be the nicest thing I've ever said to you, to be honest, Ben. I should take that back immediately.
Righty-o, yeah. Look at that. Sean Binnimer 180 SX, eh? With the Mike Greer Homes on the side. A quick little sticker job for the boys overnight, I would say.
For the Sylvia enthusiasts, there are a number of different incarnations of it, right? There's like a Siladian, that's right. And that comes down to when you change the headlights and bumpers,
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yep, the front. Sean Binnimer car looks so good with that genuine D-Max Type 3. And he's telling me that's a genuine Japanese D-Max Type 3 kit. So Sheldon Neal out in front.
Initiates nice, nearly gets out nice and wide there. Mitchell Daly is a long way back there and not carrying a lot of angle, and Sheldon Neal perhaps showing the benefit of that local experience, that local knowledge, and it's great to see Sheldon getting that nice flowing run locked in there, and that'll do great things for his confidence.
For a man that has done minimal laps in that car, that Binnimer car, Sheldon Neal, that was a stellar lead run. Outside zone 1, as we're going to see in the replay in a second, outside zone 1 was amazing. Here we go. Nice acceleration out of the start cones, initiated perfectly on time, grabs that outer zone almost perfectly. This is a great lap from Sheldon Neal. Nice and mid-track to finish, exactly what the judges want, to creep up and grab that last little outer zone there. Mitch Daly in the chase, unfortunately, just did not have the pace of the Sheldon Neal car.
I love the fact that when you say it's perfect, it's from a true driver's perspective, because you're competing this weekend, and I think that's going to be one of the real benefits of having both you and Keske joining us as broadcast colleagues this year. Real time, in the moment feedback from drivers who are driving on the same track in the same conditions on the very same day. So a nice little feature of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship commentary this year. Ben Jenkins for Pro Sport, Keske Nagashima for the Pro competition this afternoon, because we haven't as yet worked out how to mic you up and let you commentate while you're driving, Ben. Sheldon Neal gets the win. Sheldon Neal gets the win there, Benny.
Yeah, Sheldon Neal driving that 186 very, very well for minimal laps. Good looking car, that thing.
Just talk me through the genuine D-Max thing. That's a rare kit?
It's not a rare kit, it's just a genuine kit made in Japan by D-Max, which is a company which is available from Tsukuba Parts Co.
Right, whereas normally you're sort of breaking plastic, like fiberglass replicas.
That's right, a lot of fiberglass replicas around. You can get them, there's some locally made ones, but they just don't have the same fit and feel of a genuine kit.
Now that is Tiger White on the line, but we shouldn't have been seeing him, I don't think, until right at the bottom of the tree, but maybe we've had a few mechanicals, so I think, okay, so I see what's happening now. So Jeremy White didn't compete yesterday, and then Cody Lynham is not competing either, and then Weston Floyd is advised out, and then not sure about Ben Floyd, Trent Elmbranch, and Tyler West-Vineet Singh. So someone will bring us up to speed at some point, but who needs to let the commentators know what's going on? But this is Tiger White, Jamie Carr, pair of S13s. We saw Tiger try and drive that thing all the way to Bluff yesterday. Ben, it looks like Jamie Carr's a bit more sorted today. He was a bit untidy, a bit out of sorts yesterday, but that beautiful looking Taranaki built S13 in the chase position, doing a good job there, put some pressure on Tiger, maybe causing him to wash a little wide there, Tiger, a little bit adventurous.
That's right, Tiger just blowing a touch wide on that last clip. The rest of the lap from Tiger looked rather tidy, a little bit shallow in a couple of the zones at the start there, and Jamie Carr took advantage of that and jumped straight up into that pocket. Jamie Carr here jumps into the pocket just after outer zone 1.
Just getting an update here in terms of who has officially retired. Yeah, confirm. Yeah, Vineet Singh retired, Jeremy White retired, Weston Floyd retired.
Rightio, Tiger White's leaving a little left on the table there with not getting into those zones correctly. Nice acceleration into the zone, but just did not get deep enough. Now, Jamie Carr took full advantage of that and jumped up into the pockets on both outer zone 1 and 2. Switching nicely, and then Tiger White just scratched that dirt on the end to finish. So it's going to be a big deduction of Tiger White in the lead run.
How good is it to have Tiger White though back some 20 years after his last competition round? I know that there were a lot of excited Southerners yesterday, and we usually see Tiger spannering Dan Caldwell, Sam Edinburgh's cars, and kind of being the man behind that program. But great to see him out there in his new build.
That's right.
Taking part in competition. So yeah, just repeating, we have had a few withdrawals. So Luke Chappell-Sayer went through on a bye round. Brendan Fisher goes through on a bye round. Sam Rowson goes through on a bye round. Just waiting for confirmation on Ben Floyd and Trent Elmbranch, but I thought both those cars were running still. Do you? Trent was in Dylan Rastrick's car. Ben, did you see that in the pits this morning?
I saw it in practice. Definitely saw it in practice, so I think it's still going well. I think there might be an issue with the Floyd car.
Right. We'll just get
Tyler West, Vineet Singh. I think
confirmation on that one.
Vineet Singh maybe have had a mechanical yesterday, which has caused him to be out today.
Yeah, so Vineet did definitely retire. Cody Lynham hasn't been driving. Weston Floyd had retired, and Jeremy White retired. So that's why we jumped down through the battle tree to Jamie Carr, Tiger White, and then we're about to launch into the top 16.
Rightio, a bit of a separation already created by Jamie Carr with a fast initiation. He's definitely left a little bit on the table as well in that outer zone 1. Missing outer zone 2 as well, Jamie Carr. Very shallow in the zones and running away in the lead.
And Tiger's had a mistake in his chase as well, because he's run a real wheel around the inside, which is just, it was just an odd place for that car to be. Like where
it was. Definitely an untied lead from Jamie Carr, being a bit shallow in the zones, but he didn't drop any wheels off.
What did we learn to say yesterday, Benny? Not the prettiest. It wasn't the prettiest. I did like the fact that you dropped that into an interview yesterday. I don't think you even meant to. It just came out because you'd said it so many times. I'm sure that was where I'm not sure if I don't know if he actually went fully off. It's hard to tell because it looks like there's a lot of dust and dirt just on the outside of the track there, but I think that is still live on track. Okay, now that's Brendan Fisher, you can see there, and that is
bye runs.
Okay, so there is a bye run there for, that'll be Trent Elmbranch. That must be Ben Floyd, who's retired as well. But obviously if you were driving, Ben, you'd take a bye run just to get a look at the conditions. Yeah,
that's
you want to get back into things. I know.
I've got a bye run this afternoon. Straight out of this commentary box, I jump in my suit and I have one bye run just to feel the conditions. I see it changes with temperature, track temperature, rubbing it down.
Yeah, Connor Halligan referenced that too yesterday, just how unsettling it was having to sit for a long period of time. All right, so we're going to go to Stephen McIvor, who will give us a winner, and then I think grab a quick word.
Jamie Carr just a little bit excited. You probably wouldn't have seen it from those tinted windows, but he just about ripped the steering wheel off him with excitement. We'll just get it. He's doing the right thing. He's getting the helmet off so we can have a quick chat to him. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you very much, Steve. Hey, I just need to give a massive shout out.
Just slow down, breathe, it's okay.
We went out first practice run today and had no clutch, full slip. So me and the team the last hour and a half have been under the car putting a new clutch in. Let's keep going, boys. I am so...
Makes it all the worthwhile getting to the 16, right?
Oh, I'm speechless.
He's actually shaking. All right, congratulations. Jamie Carr completes the 32. Now we start thinking about the top 16. Let's go.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Black Friday is back at Link ECU. 12% off plug-in ECUs, wire-in ECUs, Razor PDM, and we got 12% off select accessories. 15% off the G5 Voodoo Pro ECU, and this sale is going to be running from November 3rd to November 28th, so don't miss out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Teretonga at the bottom of the South Island. There is the one and only Launchmaster Willie, just chilling out there out in the Link ECU start box. Launchmaster Willie been with us for a number of seasons now, been definitely someone who brings a bit of flavour to the events.
He does, Launchmaster Willie, as he's waving along. Loves a bit of merch, that boy, wearing the Keisuke Nagashima 86 Fighters jumper.
He's like a mobile advertising billboard, isn't he, really? If you actually, there we go, there's an opportunity. Sponsor Launchmaster Willie.
You could do.
It's a billboard. That's a great idea, isn't it? If you want to hashtag Launchmaster Willie, as we take a look at, this is definitely something you don't see at North Island racetracks, Ben. Campers right alongside the track. It's such an old school vibe. And one of the things, look in the background of that shot. I heard that rotary last night, driving around the streets in Invercargill, just pulsing away. It was amazing. Just brought me back to my much younger days when I used to stand on the side of the road and I was capable of being awake after 9 p.m. at night, just watching cars do laps. And I tell you what, the Invercargill car cruising scene seems like it's just alive and vibrant. It was really cool just watching some of the cars rolling around last night. We did meet a couple of lovely elderly gentlemen last night who were involved in a charity cruise in conjunction with Burger Fuel down here in Invercargill. They took a couple of photos and they've posted that to social media, so that's a charity linked cruise that they're putting on, a bit of a toy drive I think it was for underprivileged children. So great to see that type of initiative being driven down here in the deep south. And of course we had the Cancer Society here yesterday. Saw a video online this morning of the one and only Lance Hasty from our team just talking about his own journey and the support that the Cancer Society has provided to him and his family over the years. So if you see the collectors wandering around with the buckets or offering you sunscreen, etc., then take them up on that. I think we've got a mechanical, it looks like, up next, is it, Ben? Because that looks like it. No, it must be a passenger ride for somebody who has won an experience here. VIP Hot Lap with Luke Fink, VIP this weekend, sponsored by Mimico. Thank you to Mimico, Rex and the team, long-term supporters of D1NZ and the Team DSR program. I don't think Luke's put all the cable ties back into that front bumper there, Benny, because she's flapping around. And well, Luke's given the full send experience.
That's a wild passenger ride there from Luke Fink. He's been a bit erratic this weekend in that JDM car. I don't think the setup's exactly where he wanted it. My top 4 battle yesterday, obviously made a mistake in front of him, but chasing him, I did not know he was going to do next.
No, you would have heard me say that. I felt like Luke did some things yesterday that were Luke Fink exhibition run like, and that, you know what I mean when I say that, right? Because it's very much the lock, wild angle, unpredictable kind of Luke, as opposed to, we've become very used to the very clinical Luke Fink runs, because he was very much here last year, we knew, to win a championship, and while the championship's probably still important to him this year, I don't know that it maybe is his one and only goal. He wants to entertain this year, and he's doing a lot of things globally with his program, and he's also got his own little, what do you call it, a compound.
That's right,
now in Australia.
He's building a pretty sensational property over there in Queensland. Looks like he's going to have a drift track in a couple of years. He's got a nice 4x4 track going in. He's done some pretty cool work on that place, and it looks pretty exciting for for the Queensland fans as we see the replay of Luke Fink pushing the limits with the passenger. Passenger would be in for one hell of a ride. It's always a blast to go for a ride with one of these pros.
Well, look, and you are in with the opportunity to win a ride with Luke at Pukekohe as well if you buy a, I think it's either V or VVIP. I'm not 100% sure of which it is that's eligible for that draw, but yeah, one of those will win a ride at Pukekohe Park with Luke Fink, and I'm not afraid to say that I'm terrified of going around that track, Ben. I've got no intention of doing it ever.
I'll take
we take a look at, no, I'm not allowed to. We take a look now. I'll expand on that later. We'll take a look at Blake Miles for the first time this morning, laid out on the side of that current Champ Vision adorning the front window, Carter's Tyre Service. Also on the back there of Blake Miles as he just settles into basically what we expected from Blake Miles. But Josh LaRosa is right there with him, the local man. He is doing a good job there, Josh LaRosa. Hung right with Blake until the end there, where I think, Benny, he might have got lost in the smoke.
Yeah, Josh LaRosa doing a nice tidy job in the chase there, but we can't take that away from Blake Miles, the consistent man. God, he is driving well this weekend. That was a consistent online lead run. Maybe a touch shallow in the last section, but look at this, Warren. Right on the track edge. Exactly what the judges are asking for. Blake Miles. He's just a robot.
Yeah, it's I called him. I think I called him that yesterday. It's kind of like the doctor or just the machine. Yeah, the machine is kind of taken within drifting. Hence why we probably don't use it that much. Just because it's very well associated with, of course, James the Machine Dean, who is pretty much globally accepted as being the top drifter on the face of this earth at this current point in time. But yeah, Dr. Blake Miles in the house, surgical, just clinical. Sort of, I mentioned yesterday, he sort of feels a little bit like he channels that kind of Kurt Whitaker vibe, very consistent, very smooth, pretty much always delivers that same run within a millimetre or two, not really a lot of mistakes. What I found really interesting yesterday watching Blake was each time Stephen interviewed him, he was very focused on what he had done and where he felt his improvements could be, and that's one of the things I've noted over the years with drivers who have gone on and graduated to pro and then become champions, etc., is they're very focused on what they're doing as opposed to the opponent or the judges or anything else. So good signs from Blake Miles as he goes no doubt for a title this year. I'm just taking a look at the spec on LaRosa's car. So 25 DET just with bolt-ons, 500 odd horsepower. So I think that's a pretty solid effort in chase there, considering that Blake Miles got a pretty heavily worked 2J underneath the bottom of that 15. So let's see what happens here. I reckon Blake Miles will sit back a little bit here. A little bit stabby, maybe from LaRosa.
A bit shallow from LaRosa on outside zone 1. Set him up definitely a bit better in outside zone 2. Blake Miles just sitting there doing exactly what is needed in the chase to grab some points. A lot closer than LaRosa was in his chase.
Perfect example of using the lead car as a mobile clipping point as well. Didn't fall back into that chasing the qualifying line, just went after LaRosa, right?
That's right.
But you can tell from the volume of smoke coming off the back of Blake Miles' car there that he is modulating that car, right? He's not on the gas stomping it, he's not generating excessive wheel speed or anything. He's just driving smart, putting the car where he needs to, and that's a good sign for him as he looks to build on potentially a points lead here in the Pro Sport Championship. And I think I know which way I'm leading, Benny, as they come back around and get a result off Stephen McIvor. But I don't think that from a Josh LaRosa point of view, considering how untidy things got from yesterday, I think he'll be pretty proud of both those runs. Let's go down to Stephen McIvor. He's got an interview with him.
This is Mason. He's just done the Luke Fink. He won a ride with VIP. He's just been with Luke Fink, which I can imagine was what?
It was a good rush, eh?
A good rush, man. I thought you'd be shaking.
That's, man. I didn't know what to expect.
Getting to put his hand out. See?
Hands are shaking, but he did the job. Our thanks to VIP. Okay, who got the win? Who got? Whoa! There we go. Blake Miles gets the win. Blake Miles gets the win. And I think they're scrubbing, so we'll be quick about this one. They're scrubbing. Feel good?
Feel good. Ready to go again.
Get out of there.
Does Stephen's job just get stolen by Joe? You let her on one broadcast and she's jumping in there doing the pointing.
She's doing a great.
Better watch out, mate. You're better stay on your toes down there.
Doing a great job, Joe. Her first broadcast. She's a
Yes.
natural. Here we go. The next battle up. Who do we have? One of the Daly brothers.
Yeah, Aiden versus John Atwood. This
John
could go
Atwood.
anyway, right? Two wild men behind the wheel. Aiden Daly won't hold back. LS power underneath the bonnet, but John Atwood with the barra power. And now he's got that thing humming. You can see where he's turning the tyres. Oh, John Atwood's got a crank to angle and he sent it way off. Now, he was closing at a rapid rate of knots there, Ben. And I think if he hadn't thrown the angle further into it, I think he was actually going to drill into Aiden's car. Now, when we saw that yesterday from the judge's perspective, they seemed to penalise the chase car for closing. So here's where your technical expertise will come into play. Atwood's sitting back there. Is there anything here potentially from Aiden that causes that rapid close, or is it just John Atwood on the loud pedal and he's just got that much forward grip and bite that he's rocketed up there?
I think so. I think John Atwood just miscalculated that switch on the throttle a bit too hard. It looked like Aiden was still on throttle. It looked like there was a mistake in the lead.
You know what, though? There is a potential here for these to be double zeroed, because I think Aiden Daly has then drilled the finish line cone, which could potentially mean that he is deemed out of control and hasn't finished the section.
That's correct. He has. He has. He's drilled that last cone. So that could be a
double zeros potentially. Andrew, Darren and Tay, our three wise men up there in the box.
Can we talk to them today?
I think we can talk to them today. I think we'll probably only do that during the pro broadcast. We don't tend to do it a lot during pro sport, just because we are time critical and we have to get through this within a set period of time, because we must start our Sky broadcast on time for the pro drivers like yourself, because obviously there are various sponsor commitments and things that are sold and must be met. Good chance to mention those sponsors, of course, as we take a look at some crowd shots. The Link ECU Start Box is, of course, the home to Launchmaster Willie. GT Radio, our official replay sponsors. Logitech, who sponsor the new D1 Sim Series, something you'll probably have a crack at, Ben. I know you've done a bit of virtual drifting over the years. Mick, who sponsor the exit section and also the hard park yesterday. I don't think there's a hard park today. I think it's just a bunch of cars parked up. Ting Tools, of course, the podium sponsor. And Mimico, who sponsor VIP. And we have just had a 5-minute call there from Aiden Daly. So Seaton and the team will be busily inspecting that car. See if are we likely to move forward to Daniel Smith and Johnny Burns? Possibly. It depends if they're on the track and ready to scrub. So we're just going to pay some bills, and we've talked about Pukekohe. Let's look at the official commercial.
D1NZ is coming home to Pukekohe, bringing the world's best to take on the fastest entry in the game. This is more than an event. It's a celebration of the past, a showcase of the present, and a glimpse into the future of drifting. One last chapter written at full throttle. Pukekohe, the final drift. Be there, witness history.
So, well, that'll get you excited, Benny. I know you're excited to come back. We watched the video clip of you just basically saying that the reason you're coming back is because of the lure of Pukekohe. So.
That's right, Pukekohe, my hometown. Grew up there, pretty much grew up at that racetrack with my family. So,
are you giving away a hot lap? I don't need to go, so I wasn't going to expand on that earlier. I don't need to go for a ride, mate, but maybe a member of the public might like to jump in with you. Johnny Burns will lead away here from Digger Dan Smith. Both drivers will be hungry for some success here. I'm impressed with how fast Johnny Burns' car generates speed. In the old SR20 VVL is a unique engine package. You referenced how likely expensive and heavily custom crafted that will be.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny Burns has a lot of pace in that car, a lot of forward momentum, a lot of grip.
Is it billet block? No.
I don't think it's a billet block. It's still a cast Nissan block in that S14. Right, S14.9 is what they call it, because that is an S14 with an S15 front and rear. Johnny Burns here created a lot of separation over Digger Down on the entry.
Was there a waver on the steering? Just did it bump?
on entry there. I just noticed a steering input from Byrne. I don't think it's going to be enough to have a major impact. Just something I picked up there. That's actually kind of where we were talking about yesterday too. Keske and I picked up a lot in pro. I think it happened to you. It's almost like there's a bump on the track or a hump that kind of sends the car airborne a little.
It happened to me at the end yesterday. I got a little bit bind. What you get with a rear rack S chassis, a little steering bind right at full lock, and it's hard to get it off that lock.
Yeah, so we did talk about that, whether that was what was happening, because I think it looked almost like Connor Halligan was having some issues with it early on as well.
Correct, and because we're pushing so hard, especially later in the day, you're pushing so hard through that outer zone 4 yesterday. It was hard to slow the car up for the last corner, and it was a very hit and miss whether you were going to make it or not. You had to be perfectly on your marks to make it through that last turn. Oh, we've got a bit of a hit, okay.
So, yeah, that's interesting. So we're just looking from a judge's perspective at something that has occurred within a battle there. They need to attribute fault to an incident, and that does impact whether it's a 5-minute call or whether it is a 10-minute call, as we saw yesterday, where if a car is adjudged to have been hit and it is not at fault, then you get a 10-minute period to repair your car under. Okay, so yes, there's a bit of deliberation going on here. There's just an opportune time to mention too, please be aware of broadcast surroundings. There was a little bit of talk yesterday that maybe there might have been some children playing or sitting near broadcasting equipment. If you do notice an ambience microphone, so it's always entertaining to listen to you yelling at your children over the broadcast, but maybe not something that's fit for Sky TV this afternoon. So just be, oh, Johnny!
Johnny Byrne's making a little bit of a mistake there, but it might have been forced by the shallow line. We saw Daniel Smith on. Daniel Smith very shallow through that first zone as he entered the track. Good pace from both the boys though, which is good to see. Johnny Byrne's getting a little bit hungry at the end there. And obviously having a mistake. We're interested to watch this replay here, Warren. Daniel Smith initiating, yeah, very shallow from Smith.
You pointed this out earlier. It's not what the judges asked for, right?
No, it's not. Yeah. But it looks like Johnny Byrne has made that mistake all on his own, even though Smith was a little bit too shallow on outer zone 2. Here we go, one more time. Daniel Smith entering next section, a little bit slower than Johnny Byrne did and a lot shallower. Johnny Byrne has pinched that front brake, probably trying to use the left foot brake to get the car to be at the better point of the track, but I would say that was a messy lap.
Not the prettiest, and we'll just let the judges adjudicate on that one as we watch the second pass of John Atwood and Aidan Daly. Now we do understand that there was contact on the first pass between the cars, and that will come into play as the decision is made. In the interim though, we will watch the second half of the pass. Atwood runs away just initially, but then Aidan Daly comes back out, and both drivers complete the sections, top of their car speed, and smoke billowing out there, and feels like maybe if I was to read that pass there, Ben, I would say that was a frustrated John Atwood, maybe just a little bit, maybe annoyed at himself for the first pass.
I would say so. I'd be interested to see what the judges deem for John Atwood's chase if there was contact, if Aidan Daly did cause the slowdown on the first pass, but both drivers getting through the section completed on the second run. Look like John Atwood.
Yeah, well, that is the interesting part to it, isn't it, right? Because I don't think there's a debate that there was contact. It's just simply a case of who caused the contact. So, yeah, be interesting to see how the judges call this one, because it will be quite important. Now, just because I do like the fact that we do get updates from the pits, so just confirming for the Floyd brothers, earlier on we didn't see either of them, so Weston advised out due to clutch, and then Ben's harmonic balance has let go, so both the Floyd brothers out of competition. And Ben, have you got some further updates there from the pits, or
nothing
just
yet,
a little bit of chatter?
A little bit of chatter. A little bit of chatter. My crew are doing an amazing job on my S15 as I'm in this commentary box and just getting it all fixed up and ready to go.
Are you less of a pest though when you're here, because you're not just hanging around like as a driver, just doing drivery things?
Well, it's great to be able to sort of walk away and take your mind off what normally is a pretty intense management for me. I'm very hands-on with the cars, so yeah, it's a bit of a change for me, I tell you that, because I am a bit of a micromanager when it comes to making sure the car's set up right and everything's checked. So maybe the team probably do appreciate me being away for a little bit.
So that was where I was going to go with it, right? Because it does feel like, yeah, it does feel like sometimes drivers get overly involved and sometimes they're better off just to be drivers. Speaking of just drivers, Stephen has one with him at this point in time.
Right, now we're going to go back and see if we can get a result of the one before. So Johnny Atwood goes through. No comments on the running style, please. Just the fast walking style. Still waiting on the result here. Judges seem to be deliberating on this one. So Johnny Atwood goes through. Okay, finally got a result. Stay there, mate, stay there. Yeah, I'm not puffing that hard, mate. Were you getting a bit nervous?
Oh, very nervous. I mean, we've been plagued with mechanical issues all weekend, and to finally get out and it's working, it's a good feeling.
Okay, well, you've been sitting here long enough. Go get ready for the next round. Let's go and have a quick talk to Johnny. A nice carbon bonnet. God, this is a nice piece of kit, mate. A little bit disappointed?
Cheers, bro. Oh, no, I'm not disappointed at all. Man, I got a brilliant team down here. I got engaged on the way down, you know. Got to spend some time with my family and, you know, start building something so that we can continue to do the sport. Thanks again. Thanks for all the fans that came out. I had heaps of people looking at the car yesterday, and it was super awesome to get some feedback from the fans. So you guys all make it possible, watching it on the live stream and coming down. So keep coming down. We got Pukekohe coming up in February. So yeah, I'll see you guys all there.
Good man, Johnny.
I wasn't going to say anything about Stephen running. Were you, Ben? No? We were just quietly observing here in the commentary box. I did learn actually though, as an interesting fact, Stephen has run a half marathon in the past, which is not a bad effort. So
Here we go.
Zalia, young Z up against Jordan Richards. Well, you want to test yourself, young lady? Well, that's going to be a way to do it, but I don't think she should have been that late on entry, Ben.
Very late initiation, which is obviously caused Jordan Richards, who was already initiated before Zalia, to be left behind. But hey, tidying out nonetheless, and both keeping on the back stuff, which is good. Jordan Richards is doing what he needed to do there, reverting back to his qualifying line with the big mistake in the lead. But
I think it's a sensible approach from Jordan, isn't it? So Jordan knows his car is quick. He's already had a couple of, shall we say, love taps this morning in practice with cars. So he's just given Zalia that room, and then he's watched where she is. She's down the track. She should have been up wider. So Jordan, I think, playing a smart game here, and he'll put the pressure on Zalia now to really force her. She's going to have to deliver in this chase lap to try and fight back, Ben, from what I would imagine is a disadvantage.
Yeah, Zalia, all she needed to do was get a little bit further into outer zone 1. That would have set her up nicely, a lot nicer for outer zone 3, and it wouldn't have let Jordan Richards in the middle of no man's land. But Jordan Richards doing exactly what he needed to do with that in front of him.
Yeah, it's interesting, just I always enjoy just seeing the body language of the judges, just to try and get a read on what it is they're looking for, and no doubt they are looking for those minute adjustments that they're perhaps not so apparent to the casual fan, but as an experienced driver like the three of those are, they know exactly what's gone on and what has had an impact, and also I think importantly what doesn't have an impact on the chase driver. So I think that's why the three are pretty well respected, and their calls were pretty much universally accepted yesterday. I haven't heard too much chatter about anything being overly controversial. I think there were a couple of things that you and I maybe were wanting just to get clarity on, but able to do that pretty rapidly. As Jordan Richards now, I think he's just going to, my gut feel says he stomps the loud pedal here and just says, come get me if you can.
That's right. That's right. I'm expecting a faster schedule. Jordan Richards straight into it well early. That's what we want to see out by the edge of the track. Zalia just jumping into the pocket there, but I think she just didn't have enough wheel speed to stay in the pocket. Jordan Richards putting on a stellar lead run here.
To her credit, she did what she could to try and put on a fighting chase, and I love the commitment from her to go down to the inside there. Right, that's what the judges said. Go to the inside, make yourself a nuisance in chase, and just put on a show for the fans. So, all credit to the young lady, 18 years old. It's quite an interesting occupation. It isn't actually what she said on the video yesterday, but maybe Joe or Stephen might be able to enlighten us a little bit further on that if they do get a chance to chat with her. But yeah, I look forward to learning a little bit more about young Zalia as she progresses her drift career. She'll be back with us at Pukekohe, but Jordan Richards just doing what he needed to do there, showing that form that makes many people think he will be a contender for the season. Definitely one of the drivers who has the speed, the form and the style to fight with Blake Miles, Sam Rowson, Riley McEwen at the top end of the field. Isaac Aldridge should be in that mix as well as we count down towards a champion across 5 rounds. What's Tay pointing at here, Benny? I'm just watching the...
checking.
I'm always intrigued by the international drift hand signals.
They're just checking if Zalia made an error.
So Stephen will give us a winner. Jordan, kind of what was expected, but...
Congrats, mate. Through to the 8. That's the most important thing, but great lead, huh?
Yeah, honestly, she did really good. I thought I'd give myself a bit of space behind her, but she ended up pulling away, and I was quite surprised, but she did really well, yeah.
Yeah, the rough day yesterday. Feeling better today?
A lot better today, yes, yeah. Thanks for that.
Good luck in the 8, mate. Yeah, good man. All right, let's go and talk to Z. Love this. Another step forward, right? There's the most important thing.
Nah, it's great. I was pumped to get into the top 16. So
I'm keen to ask, it was a really tidy lead. What happened in the chase?
I just got a bit put off. I don't know. Maybe went in a bit too hard. Yeah.
But you don't mind pushing these blokes around, eh?
Yeah. Nah, it's good.
It's been a really good watch. We're going to see you at Puke?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Go well.
See you there.
Okay, we roll on as the 8 keeps going in pro sport.
Thank you, Stephen. And we're just taking a look at the replay here. Ben, what I was alluding to there, I had a chat with Zalia before. I said, what do you actually do when you're not drifting? And she said, well, actually, I work for Dad. So what do you mean by that? She said, well, actually, my job is I'm a beekeeper. We have millions of bees across, I think they said 1,600 hives. The story behind the Authentic Honey Co. is actually a family company. So she gets stung by bees for a job. I just heard that, and my mind immediately went to like the movie The Beekeeper, and I was just thinking there's a transition there as she starts to take out a few of these boys. Watch out, there's a new assassin on the block there, boys. She's coming for some, Jason Statham movie. She's coming for some scalps. Speaking of coming for scalps, Riley McEwen, Sheldon Neal. I think this is going to be a good battle.
This is a big battle. This is a big battle. Both these boys, talented pedalers. Sheldon Neal, let's see if we can get to grips with this 186.
Riley McEwen jumps on the loud pedal. That 13B's just been on song all weekend. I think it's a Green Brothers power plant. Sheldon Neal wavering around there in the chase position there. Just wasn't able to keep just about makes contact in the Seam Benema machine. And he's had to keep it on lock to avoid making contact there and damage that D-Max kit.
What happened there?
It's a tyre gone flat in the back. Why is it sitting so... Does it always sit that low?
Yeah, it does. Sean Benema runs a bit of rake in those cars.
Explain that, rake, for the casual viewer.
Obviously allows a bit more wheel movement in the front with a big large 18 in the front, but it also already helps transition the weight onto the rear of the car with how it is set up. It's very low in the back, that car actually, as it transitions into turn 1 there.
Is that where I've heard the expression like porpoising or dolphin, like the dolphin thing? Is that where that comes from? When the cars squat down, that's different again?
That's different again. It helps the weight transition from the front to the back, especially when you've got these cars with a big 6-cylinder, big cast iron 6-cylinder in the front of them.
Right. Okay, so Riley, they're not doing anything overly out of order or anything. Just look like again a rapid close. The overspeed, as Kiske calls it.
That's
from
right.
Sheldon Neal in the chase position there.
Sheldon Neal, he almost pulled this off. It's almost like the car shut down, or maybe he got a touch scared that he was going to enter into the side of that Riley McEwen car. But if he kept on power there with Riley exiting the section, it might have exited quite nicely. But I'd say he might have just got a little bit caught out with how fast at the rate he was closing onto the McEwen car.
Yeah, good spot there, Benny. I'm assuming what you've picked up there is the fact that the tyre smoke disappears from the back of the Sheldon Neal driven car. So you'll see where he's on the gas and he's back on the gas again, and then he just has to get out of it, and there is no tyre smoke at all just through there. Like, it's a very light, of anything, feathering the throttle. And you think that's maybe what sent him around?
Yeah, possibly. I think just judging by the diving he was doing into outer zone 2, the Sheldon Neal car would have been a little bit more gripped up than the McEwen car, and it might have caught him out coming into the last zone. So I think he was just making an evasive manoeuvre there to not make contact. Here we go, swapping over. Sheldon Neal in the lead, takes off with a booming start. I'd say this is going to be a fiery lap from Sheldon, knowing he's 10-0 down.
Well, he's got a one and done chance, doesn't he, really? He's got to put the pressure on Riley McEwen and hope that Riley makes a mistake. Riley hasn't really looked like he's got any chinks in the armour, though, this weekend, has he? Oh, Sheldon Neal turns it round, and Riley McEwen, to his credit, aware enough to pull that car up. Is there any, when that happens, Ben, is there any opportunity really to kind of think about what's going on, or do you just mechanically react?
Yeah, that's right. I just want to have a look at back what actually happened there with the Sheldon Neal car. It didn't look like it was transitioning that fast, but it just over-rotated on him. I think it's just putting it down to literally not enough experience in that vehicle of Sean Binner's. Nice out of zone there, nice stacks on the angle, but I think it just, he just flicks it back a little bit too hard, and it over-rotates just a little bit too much.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Is sort of when Adam Davies was sort of pioneering his car in competition back in the day, like early on before they had it sorted, and it used to do similar things. Like Adam would crank it to angle, he'd be like, yeah, he's on it, and it looks really awesome, but then it would come back the other way and it was just a little bit unpredictable, and as you say, maybe also just not, at that time he just didn't have the experience like he does now. Like, it's not like he is now, right, where he knows that car like the back of his hand. He was still kind of working out what it was going to do, and I would imagine Sheldon Neal probably hasn't done a lot of competition laps, if any at all, in that Binema owned car. So
that's right.
It's a solid effort from him, but probably all she wrote, I'd imagine. And Riley looking pretty solid, but we'll await final call from Stephen.
Well, Riley, the roll keeps continuing for you. Second time today you've had to avoid. What was going on there?
Yeah, I think he just threw it in a bit hot, so I was pretty lucky to avoid that one, I reckon. But yeah.
How are you finding the track? You know, reverse direction.
Yeah, it's definitely different. We had some tough conditions in practice, so not quite used to it. But yeah, we're getting there.
Still eyes forward.
Yep.
Go get it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen McIvor, doing a great job down there, as we always expect. We take another look here at the replay. Anything else, Ben, that you're sort of picking up, or any word? I know that you're tapped in, and there's always a lot of opinions that come in from live stream land and from just other educated viewers. What do you got?
Two little insights into there. One of them, Daniel Williams, one of my boys, he's just messaged me and reminded me that Sheldon Neal probably not used to the knuckle setup in that car. It's got B knuckle from Japan.
Right.
And Johnny Baxter just letting me know that there's 17-inch wheels on the back of the Binema car. So it normally runs 18s, but Sheldon runs 17s. So that's why that has so much rake in it.
So it's a staggered offset, 18 on the front, 17 on the rear, which is quite different. All right,
here
let's
we go.
just look at Brendan Fisher for, I think, the first time in battle today. Brendan Fisher with the LS underneath the bonnet. Brendan Fisher battling against Luke Chappell-Sayer, who has been absolutely gapped off the line there. Luke Chappell-Sayer, it's fair to say, Ben was very excited yesterday at what I believe to be his best competition result. But is that wobbling around in the rear there, or is it just the marking on the wheel that makes it look a little bit like it's got a shake?
Well, we all have to run tyre stickers or wheel stickers to show the judges when we handbrake, so that could be what we were seeing there. But Brendan Fisher, straight out of the gate, drops on
Luke's
wheel.
Luke hasn't initiated in the chase.
That's right. I think he's been caught up by the pace of that Brendan Fisher car, putting on a smoke show out front. Brendan Fisher dropping a wheel at the end of outer zone 1. Slight deduction, but that is nothing compared to the straight lining we've seen from the Luke Chappell-Sayer Safiro bot in the chase.
Barry out of the opposite lock stable. Confused us the other day, but it is an LS underneath the bonnet of the S14. I'd love to make it. We should make a fun little list one day of all the different variants of all the Sylvias, etc. Because I'm sure you could probably rattle them off the top of your head, Ben, what they're all called when you change the fronts or rears or lights or bumpers or whatever else.
That's right. There's quite a few different combos.
What are the wise men debating here, do you think? Because just off screen there is Joel Counter, the driving standards officer, DSO. He's our review officer, so he is entitled to bring things to the attention of the judges if he feels that something potentially has been missed. So it could be something that Joel's spotted there, maybe that he wants maybe Judge Kelly and co to consider. So look at Sam the Mo Rowson for Mo Tool. If you separate that out, it's very Sam Rowson.
Look at the tyre pressure in the back of that Rowson car. You can see it.
Sitting right down on the minimum. You
That
reckon?
is on the minimum for sure. Just trying to get him to get, obviously, a...
Now, I have wondered this, all of the events so far, who that is that's assisting Launchmaster Willie, and that is Janice. I have never seen a Janice before with a beard that resembles Gandalf the Wizard. So
right.
Why he's called Janice, I do not know. And I'm sure someone will explain this at some point in time. Either that or I'll get a message saying, do not call me Janice on the live stream. Either way, we'll get an explanation, I imagine, Ben.
Doing a great job out there, putting us into our scrub box and letting us know when to go.
How good are the Invercargill fans? Plenty of young fans roaming around the venue. But before we get into the next battle, we're going to go down to Joe, pit side.
We've got Luke Chappell-Sayer. He's done the first run, but he's come in. Tell us what's gone on.
Look, just initiated in fourth, and I think I've blown the diff or the axle. Yeah.
So you're forfeiting?
Yep.
All right, well, we've got our result then.
We'll see everyone at Pukekohe in February. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke, for remembering to get that in. I feel quite clever now, Ben, because I feel like I was right there in saying something was happening in the back of the Luke Chappell-Sayer car there. That would have been probably what that waiver was if it has broken axle, just flopping around there. Brendan Fisher just taking a bye run here to get a little further insight into the track conditions. Now we are being asked if we can talk to the judges. I'm not sure if we can in pro sports. We will see if we can get a clarity, because there is a little bit of chatter just in relation to the Aidan Daly and John Atwood decision, which is what we were debating before. And it does look like Darren Kelly and Andrew Redwood are now mic'd up. So Andrew Redwood, if you could perhaps give us a little clarity there on Aidan Daly, John Atwood, and then basically was it the same as Dean versus Adam yesterday?
I can't remember Dean versus Adam. Maybe Adam was the one that went off, at the end of the section. So this one was 0-0 that I scored it, and I think the other two judges did the same thing. It looked like Eden may have either gone off or completely gotten out of the throttle. Regardless, John Atwood did a really aggressive switch. I also feel if Aidan wasn't there, he would have struggled to finish the section, or at least maybe put two wheels off and done a really scrappy finish of the section. Both of those led into 0-0. There was a bit of contact there, but really Aidan was off of the line so much that it didn't allow John to even attempt to finish the section. And yeah, John just switched too hard with too much speed. We also think he may have just gone off too.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Andrew Edward, for offering that clarity there. And look, while we've got you, before we have a car ready to go, anything else you want to offer from the judge's perspective? Anything else you've seen that maybe needs clearing up?
Yeah, just the drivers need to make sure they're getting enough speed into the section. We've seen a few entering quite slowly, which has chalked up the chase driver. And then, OZ3 to the finish is causing and deciding a lot of the battles at the moment, either dropping down too low and cutting off the chase driver, or us blowing wide at the final.
Perfect, okay. Thank you, three wise men. Speaking of wise men, down to Mr. McIvor pit side.
Just quickly, Brendan Fisher goes up one, out of the 16 yesterday into the 8. Must feel good despite how you get in there.
Oh, it's excellent. This track is pretty sick in the dry, despite our problems that we've had. Crew's got the car going pretty good. Still figuring out some issues. Setup changes have been going really mint. We're ready to go for the next one.
Love the attitude. Go get them.
Cheers, eh?
Brendan Fisher, thank you Stephen McIvor, and thank you to our judges for that enlightenment. Interesting that the comment there mirrors kind of what you said, Ben, in terms of maybe just needing that little bit more speed. Oh, Benny the Oracle.
I called it.
Called earlier that the pressure in the tyre for Sam Rowson looked really low, and Sam Rowson has debeaded on the start line.
Yep.
And he will not be able to, I don't believe, replace that tyre, will he?
If it was caused by...
It's not a contact. He hasn't hit a ripple strip.
That's right.
So if it's come out low and it's popped off...
That's on him. He will be out, unfortunately.
And he is in 3rd place on points at the moment. So this is potentially massive for both the championship and also for Trent Elmbranch. See if we can... And it's ice. If it's popped itself on scrub, yeah, that's the team's responsibility, isn't it? If it's just gone flat.
That's correct. It's a fault with the wheel or the tyre valve.
There it is.
There
just
we go.
come off there.
It is off. Unfortunately for Sam Rowson, he will not be able to complete. He's scrubbed, and he's not going to be able to complete.
Because a pair of tyres must last
the 2 laps.
The 2 laps, unless it's caused by contact.
So that, unfortunately, we will see. I believe Sam Rowson will be out. I don't think he is allowed to change.
I'm just going to say, I'm just going to put a caveat on that in terms of that is how we understand it to be. However, we are not the adjudicators of fact. That is on the technical official and I would say also clerk of course as to how that rule plays out. But yeah, I don't see contact. I don't think he hit a ripple strip, etc. It's in the scrub before the battle. So yeah, it's potentially Benny our first shake-up of the weekend.
God, it's unfortunate for him to go out like that. You just don't want to see that. Don't want to see that, but unfortunately,
no.
That is what's happened. Sometimes these things do happen, whether it's a fault of the tyre valve or crack in the wheel.
So I don't think. Yeah. Well, look, I'm waiting just for the official call there. I don't think Trent will even have to complete a bye run because you only have to do that, I think, in the first round, and then from there I think you can just basically kind of be seeded through. So we move now to Tyler West. I'm hoping that the crew have racked him up this morning. I'm going to see angry Tyler driving because he's going to need to be up against Jamie Carr. Jamie Carr wasn't there's no slouch this morning, Ben, in that first battle we saw. He accounted for Tiger White. Looked pretty good.
That's right, Jamie Carr. Let's see if we can get a tiny battle here. First time seeing Tyler West today. In competition format, looked like he had some great practice this morning. We know he's a talented driver. Both these boys are talented drivers, so hopefully we're going to see a nice clean battle here.
800 odd horsepower for Tyler West, 2JZ. I think Jamie Carr, I think is RB. I'll just consult my notes and just verify that I have got that right. But in the interim, they'll be released and around into the initiation point they will go. Jamie Carr RB25 underneath the bonnet, 550 odd horse. The classic JZ RB battle here, but we won't get into that little debate there because I know which one you're running at the moment. So, well, that's Jamie Carr with a little love tap into Tyler West right on the exit of that corner there, and until then, Ben, that was looking pretty good for Jamie Carr. Just a little tiny waver.
Was that Jamie Carr's fault? It looked like Tyler West just slowed a little bit at the end of that section. We have to watch this again, Warren. Tyler West just had to have 2 dabs on it to initiate that car. It is very hard to initiate under high power and high grip, but Jamie Carr sitting there nicely in the pocket, following Tyler West down to the bottom of the track. But just here, Warren, I think Tyler's come
out of the gas.
No, there is tyre smoke there from Tyler. Maybe he's a little bit late, so there is tyre smoke at the point of contact, so he is under power, but there definitely looked to be a little bit of a slowdown there from Tyler. Jamie Carr a little bit shallow, sacrificing a touch of line on his chase there to jump up on Tyler's door on the left hand side, but this is one of the tidier chases we've seen of the day, but just there. Is that a slowdown from Tyler West, or has Jamie Carr just washed the front a touch and lessened his angle, which has created the contact? The judges will be looking hard at that right now to see who's at fault. But initial thoughts, Tyler West was a little bit slow, but I think I'll correct myself there. And I think Jamie Carr has washed the front at the end and created that contact by himself.
And usual caveats here, again, we are just the commentators. Our opinion does in no way sway what the judges think up there in the commentary box, because if it did, then Ben would have won yesterday.
I gave it a good red hot crack, especially after all my criticism and technical criticism yesterday in this box.
Right.
I had to go out there and put on a show.
Okay, so just because it is interesting, there is confirmation needed as to if the scrub is considered the start of the battle or not. So that is a point that's being clarified at this point in time. Sam Ralston may be entitled potentially to 5 minutes to change his tyres. There is a clarity needed on that. So it's being debated amongst race control at the moment. We'll update you on that one as we get an outcome. But in the meantime, we will run the second half of this battle here with Jamie Carr leading away from Tyler West. And we're starting to see that step up in quality being the same as what we saw yesterday as we get to sort of 16, the 8-4. Oh, Tyler West!
Wow.
I was kidding about needing angry Tyler. Like, I might have baited him too much. I told David Hunter to punch him and make him angry, but I didn't tell him to, like, roid rage out fully and smash into Jamie Carr.
Wow.
What was going on there?
That was a couple wheels off
that
the
was
ground.
that
what was going on there? I think Tyler West.
That's channeling your inner Donny D into Dan and Taupo. That's
Fanger Dan into Donny D.
Yeah.
Taupo.
And what was the other recent one was the V8 Supercar one as well. And then there's the other one from, was it Ben Hobson?
Matt Field.
Matt Field, yeah.
Dylan
Field.
Dylan Hughes ended up on
Dozering. And it changed.
What happens here? Tyler West definitely has a touch more grip here than Jamie Carr. He's driving up onto him out of zone one.
Sent it. He just sends it. Watch. He just jumps on the gas through the inside, just sends it up the inside, and then he's on the foot brake to try and slow it down. It just doesn't slow.
Yeah, climbed the front wheel. Unfortunately, when the wheels at lock like that, when the wheels at lock of Jamie Carr's car, as soon as that contact was made by Tyler West, it just climbed up that tyre and up onto the thing. It didn't look actually at second look. Too much damage. There might be a...
I reckon he's getting a new nickname. I reckon he's T-Dozer now.
T-Dozer.
T-Dozer.
Pushing him out of the way. I like his style.
We'll see if we can make it stick.
So Jamie Carr has a messy transition, right?
That's what's caused this. Is Jamie Carr on throttle?
Jamie Carr's had a messy transition. Tyler West has switched, believing that Jamie Carr was going to be on the throttle harder through that section. It is a full commitment, full throttle switch. And I believe Tyler West has just not anticipated that Jamie Carr was going to be off throttle and he's ended up on top.
Well, you wouldn't expect it, right? Because you would expect that again. Yeah, you're right. It was late and it was slower than Tyler expected on the gas.
Yes,
going to be certainly going to be an interesting chat afterwards.
Definitely will. I think Tyler West will be. But Jamie Carr switching. I don't know what has actually happened there. It looked like Jamie Carr was still on power. Maybe he was just taking a moment to switch. Unfortunately, he's ended up in the sand trap and mowed over his front bumper, which is what I like to do with my front bumpers too.
Yeah, we did talk about that yesterday, yeah, and between you and Luke Fink and a few others, you guys just pull up and then don't even worry about what's hanging off cable ties, etc. That Jamie Carr's ended up a long way over there, and I think it did tear the front guard off, and I would imagine it hit pretty hard while the car was also on lock as well. So there will definitely be some damage to various parts of the car there. Again, this will come down to who is determined at fault for causing the contact in terms of how long people get to repair various cars.
Tyler West is definitely a lot faster, a lot more mechanical grip in that car than the Jamie Carr car, but Jamie isn't on the handbrake. He's not on the handbrake, Jamie Carr, so I would say the fault is going to be on Tyler. The judges obviously deliberating there, watching their DSO replay.
But should he have been accelerating at that point?
Probably should have been, Warren. He probably should have been. There's definitely a touch of a slowdown. I did say it was a full acceleration switch there before.
Yeah.
After the switch, there's definitely a touch of a slowdown because that tighter arc of that other corner, especially being on a radial tyre, you probably wouldn't make it round that corner fully.
Well, the good part is that these three guys on the screen, along with our officials, Sammy and Nikki up there, the good part is that these guys have been there, done that before, right? They understand exactly what should be going on from a car control point of view, so they are able to put themselves in both positions and understand exactly what should have been going on there, and that's how they'll reach their decision. They are obviously watching the replays multiple times to make sure they get this correct, because it is important that we get the right results for the integrity of the championship, and also just so that both drivers go home with an understanding of how the call is made. Yeah, really interesting one. We've certainly seen some committed driving here, Ben, at Adam McCargill. Yeah, Jamie Carr's front, I mean, it doesn't look like, apart from it's ripped the guard off, although it's hard to tell, is it now sitting well, like it's all cambered now, isn't it? It's had a big whack.
It has. It's had a 2JZ S14 on top of it.
And the problem I imagine would be, and we have seen this before, and I've heard you comment on this before, is that if it's had a big whack, you're almost not going to know until you go to your run and you try and run it to full lock, and it's only going to come back one way, right? And then that's when you run the risk of something letting go mid-run, which does get incredibly dangerous. And we have seen that type of thing in past. So what a Darren, and yeah, I'd love to.
That got high. That Tyler West car climbed that Jamie Carr car straight up that front tyre.
How good is this fly on the wall view? Yeah. It's a pity we don't have audio, but there's also a reason why we don't have audio, to know what the judges are deliberating around. Of course, they do lock in their results independently. They are entitled to effectively discuss things that are going on, but they don't discuss which way they're leaning. Drift hand signals. This is one of the things I don't, I can't interpret them like you can, Ben.
I would say that they are just checking to see who's going to be at fault.
Right. Okay, now, just we will move forward, and for clarity, the scrub is not deemed to be part of the start of the run, so Sam Rowson was entitled to go and change his tyres.
Because he still had his 5-minute call, right?
Correct, yeah.
If you didn't have your 5-minute call in that situation, your tyre debeated, you would be out.
Yeah, that is my understanding of the situation. I won't comment on the 5-minute attribution because I don't have a defined answer as to if it did use his 5 or not, or whether he is entitled to change, because it was not deemed part of the start of the run. Maybe there was a contact with a ripple strip on the outside that we didn't see, but I think we'll just let them run it. But Sam Rowson remains in, so my apologies to Sam Rowson fans who may have got a bit of a fright when I said something was going on earlier. Now that is a bird's eye view of the Jamie Carr machine that Tyler West is just explaining what's happened. Trent, explain what he just said there.
Some hand signals from Tyler West, just saying he was looking at the sky when he made contact, with a little smile on Jamie Carr's face there. So it doesn't look like there's any bad blood between the boys. Maybe just an error on Tyler West's side. I have asked him what happened there on his side.
So fault attributed to Tyler West, and Jamie Carr goes through. So so T-Dub is gone and Jamie Carr goes through, and we're about to watch Trent Elmbranch and Sam Rowson.
Here we go, the Mo Rowson in the lead. Oh, just a touch of a reinitiation, but I think he got it sorted by the time to start cones. Sam Rowson out in the front. Trent Elmbranch doing a great job in the chase there with a messy start.
Is that not enough heat in the front tyre?
Might be. I just don't think that car initiated as much as he wanted it to. He gave it one shove on the clutch and he might have had to give it another one or a quick handbrake. But let's take a quick look to make sure he was initiated by those two entry cones.
Yeah, it was very unusual. Another look at the GT Radial replay here. Thank you, GT Radial there. See,
it was a touch messy, but I think he was initiated. By the cones. As we saw yesterday, it was where a lot of battles in these pro sports were won and lost. Some of the boys just failed to initiate by those start cones. The judges will be looking at that heavily to make sure they are. And that's why these judges are pinpoint perfect, in my opinion. They're doing a very, very good job at doing that and telling us what to do and what
We're going to just quickly go to Stephen while the cars transition around into the second half of the battle. He's with Jamie Carr.
All right, Jamie, congratulations. The judges have made their decision. They've let you go through. How did you see that incident?
Happened pretty quick, to be fair. I put a half, gave it my all in my chase, so I knew that my lead had to be pretty good. And yeah, he whacked me pretty hard on that last corner, so I thought it could have gone either way, so I really appreciate that win.
Much damage on the car that you know of?
Yeah, it feels like something's bent in the rear, but we've got spares and a good crew, so we'll get it back out there, bro.
Okay, mate, well done. Let's talk to Tyler. Tyler's here. Doesn't look too happy about it. That's the way the judges have gone. How do you feel?
Yeah, it is what it is. You know, I sort of felt like I came in with the full commitment and yeah, just sort of had nowhere to go because the car slowed down and I just went into him. So yeah, it is what it is, you know.
I don't mean pain. Would you think about appealing this?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just inquire about it. Yeah, just see what the judges' thoughts are.
Get on with it, then, mate.
Regardless, congrats to whoever's won. That's racing.
That's what it's about. Well done, mate. Thank you, Tyler. There you go. We keep rolling.
Thank you, T-Dozer. I'm going to keep that one. I'll keep that one up my sleeve. Now, being the last battle of the round, essentially, he does have a very limited period with which to be able to launch an appeal. As we take a look at the second half of the battle here between Elm Branch and Rowson. Potentially, Rowson here with some questions around his initial entry.
Great initiation by Trent Elm Branch there. Touch shallow at the end of the outzone section, but he seems to have that little Rastrick S13 humming through that. Lots of limiter.
Just hear what race control said, Ben. There are some sprinkles of rain appearing on the track. So that is going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons for our top 8 and for our pros this afternoon, because you guys have had no practice with different track conditions.
We did have full wet conditions on the first session on Friday morning, so that's all right. We'll slow us down a touch, but hey, battle in front of us. Trent Elm Branch putting on a nice display in the lead, and Sam Rowson just tucking up nice. Look at the difference in car length. That was a good on that transition. You can see that long Laurel transitioning much slower than the S13 in the lead.
Yeah, interested. I'm interested to see how this one goes. Just to see whether you did pick up on something there around that initiation, and if that is enough to make a difference. There is a little waiver there in the chase position as well from Sam Rowson, and then he did drift out wide there, but I don't think he went off the track. Didn't look like that traditional brown puff of dust, the old dirt turbo as we call it, appeared there. Love that. I love that phrase, attributed of course to a good mate of the sport of drifting, Adrian Mozza Morrisby, RIP Moz, gone but not forgotten, mate. Had long been a dream to bring you across and have you call an event here at D1NZ, but sadly that not able to occur. Anyway, we move onwards, Benny, and it does look like the judges have locked in a result here. Stephen McIvor makes the call and chats with Trent Elm Branch.
I'm assuming you're going to be happy about that result.
Yeah, I was definitely. I actually noticed he obviously DB'd in the scrub box, and then coming around, I noticed his tyre was flat again. But you know, he was one of the top dogs yesterday. We've come a long way, so we want to go as far as we can. And I just honestly can't thank Ryan from Christchurch. Dylan, Jesus, is tired for his car. It's just incredible. Just the sport, people offering things. You know, I met him 3 hours before, and here I am in his beautiful car. So.
Yeah, well, just think about this. Weather conditions are changing.
Yeah, I definitely noticed then on my lead run that it was a lot slipperier. Very surprisingly, just what a little bit of dew on that was drivey track. Yeah, so.
Mate, congratulations, you advance.
Bloody good. Let's go. Let's get the next one.
Thanks, Stephen McIvor, chatting down there. Trent Elm Branch into a commercial break.
Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Black Friday is back at Link ECU. 12% off plug-in ECUs, wire-in ECUs, Razor PDM, and we got 12% off select accessories. 15% off the G5 Voodoo Pro ECU, and this sale is going to be running from November 3rd to November 28th, so don't miss out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
D1NZ is coming home to Pukekohe, bringing the world's best to take on the fastest entry in the game. This is more than an event. It's a celebration of the past, a showcase of the present, and a glimpse into the future of drifting. One last chapter written at full throttle. Pukekohe, the final drift. Be there, witness history.
Pukekohe, it's going to be one hell of an event. Being back there is going to be something special, Warren. We were there the other day doing a little bit of filming. It had a bit of an eerie feeling about it, standing back on that front straight.
Singing this song, Mama, I'm coming home. That was you humming, mate. I saw you there just smiling away, channeling those childhood memories, talking about you've been there with your dad over the years, and there is just going to be some amazing things going on. I heard rumours that our audience is going to be able to participate. There's going to be some cruising sessions. We've got international stars coming down, some big names coming back out of, someone got sent a message yesterday saying some old cars have made their way home into familiar hands.
That's
right. We'll be re-emerging, the nostalgia vibes will be very strong. All sorts of experiences available. You offered me a hot lap. I don't want it. You're going to now give it up to somebody from our audience or our crowd, or maybe even one of our hardworking volunteers. A shout out to all of our volunteers, including the team Launchmaster Willie and Janice out there on the start-finish line as Blake Miles leads away over Johnny Atwood, and this could get wild with a little bit of water out on the track there. See if it affects Blake Miles at all. Dr. Miles in the house, just back on the gas, smashing those rear tyres out. Does the man change at all? No, I don't think so. I think he's part robot. I think he's a robot sent back from the future to change drifting for all mankind. He is the Terminator. Blake the Terminator Miles.
Blake Miles, yeah. We did see a little bit of maybe a little chip in his armour there. He was a little bit shallow into outer zone 1, I did notice. But that's just pulling him, critiquing him. As you see here, just a touch shallow into outer zone 1 for Blake Miles, which allows John Atwood to pop up into that pocket. He does get fully out into outer zone 2 though, and stays a bit mid-track. Blake Miles, maybe it's something to do with the conditions.
Oh, that's what I was just going to ask you. Is that just Blake being aware of the fact that the rain is coming, and just there's no point throwing it away on the first corner, right? So if you stick a metre further inside than maybe where you'd planned, then you get a feel for the conditions, then you get your tyre heats up and you're then within flow. So look, there's nothing wrong at all with what John Atwood's doing, and actually carrying massive angle out through outer zone 5 there is Atwood. So he's going to make Blake work for this, and I'm intrigued to see just how fast John Atwood is this time around, because I don't think he's got anything to lose here, right? So he'll throw it and he'll make Blake Miles come and chase him. So yeah, let's see how this goes. And I think, do you want to know something weird, mate, that I got told? So somebody who claims to be my cousin also says that Blake Miles is their cousin, so therefore Blake Miles, by further extension, is loosely also my cousin. Welcome to New Zealand, where everyone is everyone's cousin. 2 degrees of separation, right? How weird is that?
It is weird.
It is just something I thought I'd randomly throw in there because it sort of shows how close-knit the New Zealand community can be from time to time. We are a smallish island that I believe punches well above its weight.
Imagine having to be with you on Christmas Day.
Oh, well, yeah, it's an overrated experience. It usually results in you going to sleep if you ask Anthony Wong. Shout out to Anthony Wong, who will be watching somewhere and offer his critique afterwards. John Atwood leans into that barra and he has blanketed Blake Miles in the smoke. John Atwood doing a good job, and is Miles a little bit shallow there, Benny? Is he shallow in his chase, or is he just... Oh, Johnny! Now, where did he end up? No, but where did he end up? Where did he end up in that sand trap? Where did he end up? Did he go out towards the wall?
He got that GT radio sign perfect, didn't he? That was a strike.
Oh, it smashed the sign.
That was a strike.
GT Radio, sorry about your sign. Thank you for sponsoring our replay. But I actually think the car fully turned around 180 degrees.
What happens here with John Atwood? He's committed.
He smokes the end of the section.
That boy is
and
committed.
Out, and you watch it, it'll dig in there and it turns it around, I'm pretty sure.
Here we go. Boom far.
He's got two signs. He got two for the price of one. Poor James McManaway somewhere is looking at his...
He's ended up stuck in there.
No. Looking for Dagaville Kumara.
I don't know what happened there. I think he might have got a wheel in the dust and maybe clipped the edge of the track and it's turned him around.
Well, I think
unfortunately for John Atwood there, he was sending it.
He was sending it because he was running away from Blake.
Yeah.
And Blake wasn't, as fast as Blake's been, he wasn't making a dent in kind of closing down that gap. And I actually thought Blake, compared to what we've seen from him, was actually forced to do what the judges have asked for, right? He did have to shallow up and carry a little bit less angle than what we've seen him do. But John was pushing so hard that the question becomes, did he complete the section under control?
No.
Or has he smoked that cone?
The answer to that is a definite no, unfortunately for John Atwood. I think Blake Miles might have just been caught out by a little bit of car pace there. The old Barra Laurel from John Atwood, it's got horrendously stretched tyres on the back of it. It's got a bit of forward drive there, Warren, that car. It's quite fast. I noticed that yesterday and today.
Well, we know how quick it is, right? Because we watched Ethan Faithfull put it on the podium in Pro.
That's right.
Chasing down some of the best in New Zealand. Yeah, it's certainly a pacey car, and it does look like the judges, I think, have locked in a result. I imagine that Blake Miles will make his way around. Stephen is standing by with Blake Miles.
So the roll keeps going, Blake. Most importantly, what are conditions like that out there? A little slippery now?
It's a little bit slippery, but it's not actually too bad. But I made a few mistakes in that chase, so I really want to tidy that up.
What were the mistakes, mate? Come on.
I just put myself in the wrong position and wrong timing through the switches, maybe just trying to catch up a little bit too much. So trying to work on that for the next one.
Into the 4 again.
Into the 4, let's go.
Blake Miles there, he's so critically honest with himself and he's actually very onto it with what he needs to do. That was a good little self-analysation of what he needs to do to tidy up his chases.
Blake Miles' boss has just sent me a message saying now that Blake is into the 4, if he wins again today, he will offer him $1,000 bonus towards his Pukekohe running costs. Wow. So Blake Miles' boss has just messaged to say there's $1,000 riding extra on Blake's sponsorship if he can win round number 2 again today. So there's something for Blake and his team to think about as conditions change, and we watch recovery there from the Smart Steel team. Putahi and his team out there on track in charge of recovery as always, as they will be throughout the course of the D1NZ season. Benny, some pretty cool runs we've seen so far. Like we started off a bit rough and ready, but the drivers have settled in. We're starting to see some real battles there. And all right, we'll go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with you at Teretonga Park.
For over 6 decades, Pukekohe Park Raceway has been the temple of speed.
Since 1963, this has been the stage for New Zealand's greatest motorsport moments. A place where legends were made, battles were fought, and the roar of engines echoed through the South Auckland air. And for drifting, this was home. It was here that the world's fastest drift corner pushed drivers and machines to their absolute limits, became, and still is to this day, the world's fastest drifting corner. Where courage met chaos and only the fearless succeeded. And now, after 62 years of motorsport history, for one last time, the House of Drift returns. For 2 decades, D1NZ carved its legacy into this asphalt. And while time moved on, so did drifting. What began as a grassroots movement is now a global phenomenon. From Tokyo to Texas, Oslo to Orlando, drifting now fills stadiums with tens of thousands of fans. It's broadcast live to millions. It's no longer just a sport, it's a show, a culture, a worldwide community. And now, after 62 years of motorsport history, for one final time, the House of Drift returns. D1NZ is coming home to Pukekohe, bringing the world's best to take on the fastest entry in the game. This is more than an event. It's a celebration of the past, a showcase of the present, and a glimpse into the future of drifting. One last chapter, written at full throttle. Pukekohe, the final drift. Be there, witness history.
We are in the middle of the top 8 in Pro Sport on round number 2 of D1NZ National Drifting Championship, live here wherever you are watching around the world on our live stream on Oversteer TV. Good news is John Atwood's getting out. The bad news is he's missed out on making the 4. Blake Miles, who won yesterday, has advanced into the 4. Talking about Pukekohe, that's the big thing in the brand new year of 2026. If you've never been to Pukekohe, never seen that fastest drift corner in the world where they hit up to 200 kilometres an hour, it is absolutely bonkers. I was lucky enough to hop on the seat with Carl Thompson, who builds ridiculously big motored cars, and it is the most frightening thing in the world. The good thing about being a passenger, if you ever get the chance, you're in safe hands. These drift drivers know exactly what they're doing, but it's going to be a monster weekend, so get on to D1NZ.com and get your tickets for that. Valentine's Day weekend, by the way, I've been reminded by our director, Karen, obviously looking for some roses or chocolates on Valentine's Day weekend. So boys and ladies, make sure that you look after each other on that weekend, but get your tickets. It's going to be an absolutely bumper weekend. So when we get John successfully out, we will keep rolling on in the top 8 of D1NZ Pro Sport. Warren?
Thank you, Stephen McIvor. Ben, you got any plans for Valentine's Day, mate? Maybe a little bit of drifting?
Pukekohe. I'll be there.
Yeah. What's for dinner? Tyres.
We'll be there at Pukekohe.
Tyres for dinner. E85 for drinks.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%. There's going to be a massive weekend at Pukekohe. There's a whole lot going on there. A couple of days of drifting, back at the home of New Zealand drifting.
Hot laps, win a hot lap, VIP, VVIP, cruising on the track. Like,
There's going to be some amazing activations there. Some of the boys with their sponsors doing some cool activations. Obviously, D1 will do their own activations there.
I've actually heard a lot of rumours that a lot of the teams are planning some quite big activities and
That's
just
right.
different things. Like, I do know that a lot of the teams have T-shirts, etc., for sale this weekend. But yeah, told that a lot of teams are putting a lot into Pukekohe, expecting a massive crowd, probably a sellout, to be fair. So yeah, it's going to be something special. The final drift.
It will be that place. It's just it's a special place, Pukekohe. Coming down that front straight at that sort of speed, it's pretty damn cool. So can't wait to be back there.
Alrighty, so Jordan Richards on screen, and a little shout out to the two Ryans spinning spanners on the Jordan Richards machine. It's Ryan Murdoch and Ryan McCook. Ryan McCook from RJM Plumbing, one of my favourite people because he's had to save me from an emergency or two over the time. So thank you, Ryan, and great to see that you guys got Jordan's car repaired. We have a bit of work to do here up against Dan Smith. Dan Smith in the top 8, looking for a top 4, which will be a solid result for Digger Dan. Great to see just a lot of love coming in for John Atwood from West Australia too. West Australians tuned in watching. John competes in D1 WA over there. Jordan Richards released, and Digger Dan's a long way back. I don't think he should be giving Jordan Richards that much room, mate. I would not let Jordan Richards gap me like that, because you're going to have a hard job catching up, even if you shortcut. Digger Dan trying to come back at him, but I just don't think he's going to be able to run him down without shortcutting the track massively there. And that separation just doesn't enable you to put the pressure on.
Let's just go back and take a look at that initiation from Jordan Richards. That was pinpoint perfect setup for outer zone 1. Phenomenal job by Jordan Richards to fill that zone and switch to the other side of the track to fill outer zone 2 as well. Great angle. God, that car looks like it's got some power. Great job from Jordan Richards outside zone 1. Switching over to the other side of the track. Digger Dan's caught up a little bit, sacrificing a touch of his line, as the judges have said we can do. Switching into the final corner, Jordan Richards filling that outside zone, the last zone. With a great rate of speed, Digger Dan playing a bit of catch-up, Warren, through that section.
Look, it's basically a pro car, right? S15, 2JZ, YSFAB, HGT, Winters, right? It ticks all the boxes. It does. It's your car.
It is. It pretty much
like,
is.
Just, like without the body kit. It's your car, isn't it?
My car.
But yeah.
It's got a front bumper though. That's the thing.
Yeah. And you bumper delete the rear as well, with much to your team's frustration. So. Checking out the sights and sounds of Teretonga here. Benny, of course, on shared duties this weekend. I did. I probably gave people the wrong impression yesterday, Ben, by suggesting that you were fueled solely by gummy worms. You do take your. I think this is just interesting, right? You do actually take your nutrition seriously during the course of race weekend, so you've got everything planned out. Your lovely partner bringing you a meal to make sure that you've got the right levels of energy when you drive this afternoon.
That's right. Yeah, another lovely sandwich here, been prepared for me, which is great. That's a sugar, protein,
carbs, sugar.
You can have a couple of these lollies if you want, mate.
All right, mate. Well, I appreciate that. If you need to have a break and get a couple of lollies into you, that's fine. Need your blood sugar levels right for this afternoon. Digger Dan knows that he's got to do some work here to try and claw back some points against Jordan Richards. I expect Jordan Richards to close down through the last parts here on the track fairly rapidly on Digger Dan. Digger Dan goes up. Oh, and then, see, that's the slowdown, isn't it?
That's the slowdown, and that is the slowdown that I thought I saw on the Tyler West Jamie Carr contact.
So you're not sold on that, eh? You do not agree with the judges, and that's okay, but you clearly do not agree with what the judges called there, and we will be talking about that during the week on our review show.
I haven't spoken to the boys yet or had any communication, but it would be interesting to get it. I see Digger Dan, he's got a little bit more car pace in him than Jordan Richards does, a little bit less tyre smoke, which suggests that he's got a bit more grip in the thing, and it's struggling to turn the tyre.
He's out of the gas fully there, and he's coming back to straight, yeah.
But this is going to be controversial, Warren, I believe, if the Tyler West crew are watching. Digger Dan slowing down like that. Is it going to be the same situation?
Well, yeah, you effectively are looking at the same thing. The only difference is Jamie Carr wasn't coming out at angle. Jamie Carr basically stayed where he was. Yes, he may have been slowing, whereas Digger Dan is clearly coming out of angle. You see the front has swung down towards Jordan Richards, and the fact that Jordan Richards' car is still on full lock, because you can see that front wheel is almost bound like you were talking about before, makes me think that he's had to get out of that fully just to avoid a contact, and I don't think he had any option there. R34 GTR Godzilla, the stuff of dreams for many people. How does the line go? Something about it's Brian.
That's right. That's right.
Paul Walker, of course, RIP. How many of us grew up on the Fast and Furious over the years?
Very expensive vehicle these days. Those R34 GTRs are very expensive vehicles.
Yeah,
so.
From Fast and Furious to a more relaxed pace, bring your caravan to the racetrack here at Invercargill, one of the unique sights and sounds. Mr. McIvor down there, pit side. What have you got for us this time? No, sorry, not quite ready yet. Just waiting for your guest or information to be ready as we look at some of the prime viewing here at Teretonga, at the bottom of the South Island, our southernmost stop, and the first time back in the South Island for a number of years. D1NZ hasn't been here since 2019, as best I understand it, so none of the pro sports will have seen this track before in terms of our North Island competitors, and certainly very few of our pros have seen anything either. Mr. McIvor.
Dan, you didn't get the battle.
That's all right.
Okay, why do you think you didn't?
We've been battling this clutch problem yesterday and today, and it's finally let go. It's done now, so kind of glad we didn't get the win because we couldn't go forward anyway. But it's hard. But rubbing's racing, and things break; they never last.
That's the attitude, mate. We'll see you in Pookie.
We will. We'll be there.
Yeah, good man. It's Jordan's coming in now, so we'll just have a quick chat to him right here. Come on, buddy. Up you come. It's like herding sheep or your pet dog. Guess what? You got the win.
Oh, great. Yeah, sorry, got into the back of him. I think he slowed up a little bit coming to that last turn.
His clutch is gone.
Oh, bugger. Yeah, I think we've got a tie rod to replace it, so I limped around, but hopefully it's not too bad. We can get back up there into the top 4.
You were in there for, mate.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, Stephen McIvor. Just it's taken a chunk out of the rim. Look, it's broken the rim. Just getting right in there. So there's a chunk of something out there in the dirt there from the Jordan Richards car. It's been a rough old weekend. Oh, look at that, a big old Valiant convertible, Benny. I love that. That is making my day. I always wanted one of those when I was like a 15-year-old.
So there's a big chunk out of the rim there, and there's a whole lot of dirt. Why is there a whole lot of dirt in the wheel when the contact was with the car?
Oh, it drifted off afterwards.
Did it?
Yeah, it did go off the track afterwards because it was effectively bound up. I think we kept watching Digger Dan exit the section there, Benny. Right, Riley McEwen and Brendan Fisher. So these guys looking for a spot in the top 4. Already we have Blake Miles locked in up against Jordan Richards, and that's going to be a good battle, a good hard-fought battle. And it does look like conditions, fortunately, have cleared up out there. I think Brendan Fisher should have been closer than that to Riley. I wouldn't have been giving him a head start like that. I'd be wanting to be at least parallel as you come through the start chicane here. Riley McEwen initiates it and just gets into that flow, and Brendan has made a mistake there, and that will be a reinitiation. Now he is in the chase position here, so the onus is on Riley McEwen to complete a lead run here. He must do that, and he has completed a run. Benny, you're a little bit out of sorts, mate. You're still dwelling on what we've just seen with Digger Dan and Jordan Richards and Tyler West and Jamie Carr. I can see that you're analysing it in the brain, and it's playing on you, no doubt, as you go into competition this afternoon as a driver. And I don't mean to take away from watching the replay at the moment of this battle, but we did kind of see the mistake in the chase there from Brendan Fisher, and that's going to make it pretty hard for him to unseat young Riley unless Riley makes a mistake here.
Riley did drop a little wheel there on the front as he was coming out of zone 2 in the inner ripple. Brendan Fisher just makes a pretty large error there in the chase. That is It is probably going to be a 0 for Brendan in the chase. All deemed he had to reinitiate his drift. Riley McEwen with a small mistake in the lead, touching the dirt on the after outside zone 2. But it's a rocket ship that the McEwen boys have got that thing flying. That car is fast on a 235 radial.
Oh, there was, okay, I see, yeah, I see it now. That's why you're here as our technical expert, Ben. Pick that one up, good spotting. Good spotting, picked up the little wheel around the inside, so there will be deduction. It's not perfect from Riley McEwen, a few things to tidy up. Greetings to all of our fans out there, trackside. Hopefully you've got some sunscreen on, and I'd also say I reckon windburn's going to be a factor today too. I'd imagine there's going to be some sore faces afterwards. I don't know what you use for moisturiser down here in the deep south. Probably nothing, because you're all hardy southern gentlemen and ladies and kid folk. Do you reckon they still have the old school zinc here, Benny?
Maybe.
I've actually got. Oh no! Right, what's happened? Riley has not gone, or is he? He's done the Thorley.
He's missed a gear. He's going to be playing catch up here. Brendan Fisher, though, he's already on a 0. This is going to have to be a good lap for Brendan Fisher to make sure he does it. But I'd say that Riley McEwen's going to be classed as an active chase. Look at him catching up, though. Look how much pace is in that car.
What, is it still inactive if he closes back up? No, it's not, is it? Is that far enough? Oh, flirting. This is going to be huge, Ben, for a guy who's sitting second in points behind Blake Miles. We know Blake Miles is into the 4 already. Riley McEwen's second at the moment. He is 24 points behind Blake Miles. And what happened there? Did it pop? Is that car sequential? Or?
I think it is sequential. I think it's
so would it have popped out a gear or something?
Or maybe missed a gear or not grabbed a gear in time. But Riley does a great job to try and catch up. But to be honest, these judges, they're so frank and critical.
Yeah.
That is probably just going to be a 0 straight out of the gate for Riley McEwen.
So then we go 0-0, and then we go lead for lead.
Lead for lead.
And you picked up that Riley had a wheel off the inside.
That is
Were there
correct.
any mistakes here from Brendan? So Brendan's definitely shallower.
He's shallow out of zone 1. He grabs out of zone 2, doesn't drop a wheel.
So we could potentially, and we saw this yesterday, where we saw effectively a one more time based off a very equal lead for lead.
That is right. So Riley McEwen's mistake in the lead, dropping that tyre, could equal the mistakes that Brendan Fisher has made with not making it into the zone. So it was very shallow throughout the whole track. And I know the judges will be checking that out right now to see if we're going to have a 0-0-5-5.
Yeah, how would you? I mean, I'm almost tempted to go that way.
Run it again.
Yeah, run it again. Mr. McIvor, what's the decision? It is Riley McEwen. So we've gone lead for lead, I'd assume.
Okay, you get the win, but we're going to ask what happened on that chase.
Yeah, no, I just dropped it on the line and it stalled, so I had to try and get back up there quite quick. Not really sure how I've won that, but yeah, pretty happy. I have to watch the live stream and see.
Okay, so just driver error, we'll say, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, we won't talk anymore, we'll let you get ready, okay? There you go, Riley McEwen. P2 yesterday, how far does he go today?
Thanks, Stephen. So yeah, it's kind of what we thought happened there, Benny. Just stalled it. I didn't actually know you could, like, to be fair, like that you could stall a car like that with a sequential, because I sort of assumed they would just stay in gear. But what do I know? This is why you're here as technical and not me. Trent Elmbranch potentially on the cusp of a top 4. What a result that would be for a gentleman who, as he said earlier, met the owner of this car, Dylan, about 3 hours before Dylan offered it to him to drive, and here he is on the cusp of a top 4, competing in the top 8 up against Jamie Carr, who part of a very controversial battle that Ben is still over. Ben is still analysing that one, by the way, and we're definitely ripping that one apart during the week with head judge Darren Kelly. You can see what we're talking about there, because Jamie Carr's vehicle is missing its front guard. So Elmbranch initiates, a little bit off where he should have been, maybe on 1 there, Ben. Pretty close chase here from Jamie Carr, and it's probably happened because there was that shallow entry through 1, a little bit of separation there, graded out through 5, and I feel like we peaked up and down here, and like there's nothing too wrong with that, but it's just
Just a little bit untidy from Albranch in the lead with not getting into the zones. You know, he pointed and shooted that car. He's obviously got a lot of mechanical grip in it as well. But he just did not get into the zones there. You want to see him out by that cone, 1.5 to 1 metre to the track edge of the wheel of the car. He's just not close enough to the edge. Just sort of short cutting the track. And Jamie Carr playing catch up as well. So, hey, it's a clean run. They both didn't touch each other at the end.
Yeah, it just is. It's just if you're using those scales of a 10 is a 10, that's that sort of 6 to 7 kind of level, maybe at best.
That's right. And if I was Jamie Carr's crew, getting into Jamie Carr's ears, if he does have comms, you'd be saying, mate, fill those zones in your lead, run a qualifying run and fill those zones in your lead. And you're going to come out on top here. That's the way that Jamie Carr needs to go about it, I believe.
Yeah. So, just waiting for our final top 4 contender to lock in. Then we'll run our semi-finals. I think we are okay at the moment time-wise. We are a time-certain event. So, yesterday we did have to drop out our 3rd and 4th place battle, but I think it will, at this stage, take place today. And then we'll run our final. And 2 of our regular protagonists, and Blake Miles, Riley McEwen, still alive at the moment. Sam Rowson, who was 3rd in points, along with Isaac Aldridge, went out early. Does look like, looking at the table, Sam Rowson still probably. Oh, it's gonna. Yeah, that table's going to change around. There's going to be a real congestion from sort of 3rd onwards in this Pro Sport table. But there'll be 2 drivers that'll be separated up the top from the others, and Riley and Blake just looking at how the points go. See what Jamie Carr can do here. Sort of a carbon copy run. Jamie wasn't where he should have been either.
Exactly the same there from Jamie Carr. He's very shallow. Drops a wheel on his inside.
And wavers on the exit section after dropping down. So lead for lead. If I said the other one was a 6, and that one's probably a 4.5 or a 5.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But untidy from both the boys in their lead runs is leaving a little left on the table in the aspect of being in the zones. Not what the boys want to see up in the tower up there. I'd say they'll be marking both the boys down and just checking out for mistakes in the chase. Jamie Carr probably a little less in the zone than Trent Albranch was on out of zone 1, but
there's an inner wheel along the inside of the track, and then very shallow in a waiver.
That's right.
Out through the section. So that's just, again, I'm going sort of lead for lead, and I'm going it's a 4.5 versus a 6 maybe. So
that's right. Both these boys just seem like they're trying to run away from each other, sacrificing a lot of their line and position on the track. That in turn has just made for a pretty untidy lead from both the boys. But hey, let's see what these boys. We're not the judges, Warren, so we don't want their jobs. Let's see what they have picked apart and which one of these fellas is going to be moving through.
I like the fact you've learned that line already, Ben. You're a quick learner, quick study. I am not the judge. I'm just a commentator. My opinion does not matter. Hello out there in Teretonga Park Viewerland. Stephen McIvor down in the lane. Trent Albranch through.
Hey, the roll keeps going. You're in the 4. How does that feel?
It's pretty unsurreal, you know. Like Thursday, like I said, we built the brand new Camaro and brought it down Thursday. Had a motor issue, and like I say, we're here in Dylan's car. The last time I battled, Jamie was in John's car. We had a dust up, so I'm just glad we got through that without a dust up.
Mate, you're in the 4, so get that laser focus on.
Yeah, boy, let's go.
Alrighty, so we move through to our top 4. Ben, it is locked in here at round number 2 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship, now a national sanctioned series under Motorsport New Zealand. And we are into our top 4. Blake Miles locks in and he battles Jordan Richards. Riley McEwen battles Trent Albranch. So some interesting additional wagers coming in. Blake Miles sponsors offering him a total of $1,500 now if he wins. But first of all, we're going to check out our former Pro Sport champion, now Pro, Dean Young. Interview done during the week.
Hi, my name's Dean Young, the current 2025 Pro Sport champion. I drive the Watson haulage, S13 Sylvia, and I am the mayor of Porrell. They're one day going to switch out the LMP bottle for my mug, hopefully. What got me into drifting was I used to pit crew for Taylor James. So I pit crewed for him for a couple of years. We done World Time Attack and all that stuff. It was always a, when are you gonna compete? Are you gonna compete next year? Oh yeah, we'll see how we go. And then a year went by, like, oh, we'll do it next year. Another year went by, oh, we'll do it next year. And then, I don't know, 3 years ago now, we decided to just bite the bullet and commit to a season. Mainly because we took the RB out of the car and put a JZ in, so we're a bit more reliable that way, you see.
Are you sure about that?
What am I looking forward to this season? New tracks. I'm going to be driving a new car this season. So we're parking up the Watson haulage S13 and we're building another chassis. It's going to be running the same motor and gearbox and all that stuff out of the S13, but you'll have to wait to see what chassis it is when it comes to it. One thing I'm not looking forward to, I wouldn't say I'm not looking forward to it, but I was kind of glad I missed the Pukekohe boat. I was like, oh, we're not having to drive Pukekohe or whatever, it's close. So I was like, oh, sweet, I don't need to man up and pull some gonads out of somewhere and, enter on that first corner, just a shy of 200 Ks. So I was kind of glad that I missed that boat, but now it's come back. I'm wary, but I'm ready for it. We'll commit. It's all right. I'll be there. Could I do a case? He's the only other Pro Sport champion that's gone up to Pro and taken out Pro as well. I'll give it a good nudge. Of course I can, 100%. So yeah, it's a scary jump. I've never driven on a semi-slick tyre, for starters. New car, new tyres, but we're just here to have fun and we'll just see what we can do. And I've driven with most of the boys up top, obviously not on semi-slick tyres. We've just been on radials over the years, but I'm all good mates with most of them. So yeah, I'm just here to have fun, man. It's going to be awesome. So out of the calendar, or the upcoming calendar, although it's a hike down to Invercargill, I always like doing new tracks. So like new tracks is wicked for me. I reckon the Invercargill round 1 and round 2 is going to be pretty wicked. I've watched videos of it. It looks super fast, and I think it's going to be wicked viewing for all the spectators and stuff too. It's going to be awesome. So one challenge or goal that I've set myself for is one I haven't competed in the semi-slick tyre. So I think the biggest challenge for me is just going to be that loud pedal. With the semi-slick tyre, you have to commit and keep your foot planted because that's what keeps you on the track. Whereas with the Pro Sport 235 tyre, it does a bit, but you plant your foot too much on a high-powered car, it makes it even more slippery. So yeah, I think committing myself as a driver and believing in myself as a driver to just do better. I think I am a little bit more reserved, and I think about way too much stuff and whatnot. I don't go out there with a massive head or anything because I'm thinking about too much of the things that could go wrong. So I'm trying to get out of my head a bit. That's probably the biggest goal, is my mental goal. Like, try and get out of my head, just have fun, commit, and see what happens. One message to the fans: watch Young drift. We're coming, baby. We're coming. Pro, look out. So I'm Dean Young, current 2025 Pro Sport champ, and we are coming to Invercargill, round 1 and round 2. See you there.
Pretty decent insight there into the mindset of Dean Young, the smooth silver fox. He steps up into Pro I can't help but mention the fact that he did miss Darren Kelly out as someone who won Pro Sport and Pro, but hey, who needs the head judge on your side? Anyway, let's go down to Jo and see who she's got with her in the pits.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not able to get all the way down there, guys. We've got Jordan Richards. He has made it into the top 4, but he did suffer some damage in the front steering end. So now that Blake Miles is waiting on the line, I believe that he'll be given a call and he has to make all of his repairs within the 5 minutes. So I think that they're doing a tie rod. He'd also cracked his front wheel. So all the crew are working down there. He was unable to actually get his car to his proper pit area. So his crew are doing double time, running back and forward to find the right parts. But hopefully he's going to make it.
Thank you, Jo, bringing us plenty of information pit side.
Thanks,
as we need to keep updated with the event. Now, a couple of questions coming in as to how you watch this afternoon. You can, of course, watch on Sky TV, but also available on Oversteer TV, the D1NZ Fan Pass for members only. It allows you to watch the Pro Championship, 24-hour access to the 25-26 season content, merch discounts and members only perks, and you can watch that on, of course, your mobile device, etc., to keep you up to date with all of the pro action for 25-26. Ben, and it also gives you access to effectively on-demand replays for people like yourself who want to go back over everything that happens and reanalyze those runs and just deliberate those calls, maybe. So
I'll be definitely getting a subscription to that, boys.
You will be into it. You will be into it. So it's been an interesting morning here. We are just pushing into the top 4, as Jo just alluded to. So we are waiting, and we can't move forward with Blake on the line, waiting for Jordan. Riley McEwen sits waiting in the wings, and he's up against Trent Elmbranch. Trent Elmbranch in his first season of D1NZ Pro Sport. In the top 4, potentially in with a shot at a final. Looks like the wind's picked up out there, which hopefully will drive away any rain or any moisture that might have been lingering on the track. I appreciate the fact that people get in on some of these side jokes, right? And so while we've had a $1,500 offer for Blake Miles, Riley apparently will get $5 more pocket money per week from Ross, his father, and he can have an extra packet of chippies in his lunchbox. Because Riley is 16 years old, so he does still have to go to school. And if you joined us on Friday, you would have seen Riley doing his homework in his car while the tyres were being changed on his car. So there is a scrub. So there is a scrub going on at the moment for Jordan. He is just warming the tyres up, so he has completed the repairs. And what do you reckon happens here, mate? A couple of very, very similar cars. Very confident drivers.
A couple of handy peddlers here.
Hopefully no one does a Thorley.
That's right.
Forgets how to drive off the line. You can see the L plates on the car, reference to Mr. Thorley's efforts yesterday at managing to forget how to drive. There's the boss man and the boss lady. You can give us a wave there, Hannah. We know you can see us. Give us a wave.
Rightio, there's the Blake Miles S15. That's the ex-DKM chassis, I think that was. It was Kegg's S15, that chassis. Okay. Blake's obviously made it his own with the 2J in it.
There's a lot of cars with quite a bit of history floating around still, aren't there, within D1Z? It will be certainly interesting to see how many of them are rehabilitated for Pukekohe as we go back there on Valentine's weekend in February 2026. So you would have heard us mention that tickets are on sale already. VIP, VVIP selling out pretty quickly. Things like hot laps possibly going to be available, maybe some rides to be won, plenty of merchandise. The ability to cruise the track, I think, is something special. I've only ever actually done a single lap, to be honest, Ben, of Pukekohe Park, and it wasn't a whole lot of fun because it was very bumpy back then, and it was about 2003, 2004. So we are just watching a mechanical safety check for Jordan Richards, given it was steering components that were changed, and he is entitled to do this. Now, the rules around this are quite interesting, in that you are not actually allowed to go out and drift the whole section, which is why you wouldn't have seen him fully attacking things. There have been instances in past of drivers using it effectively as an extra kind of practice or sighting lap. So yeah, the scrutineers will tell you can go out and you can basically test, kind of give it a bit of side to side just to make sure everything is safe, but you can't run a full noise competition lap. Do you have some further insight there, Ben, for us that you want to share, or do we want to save that for later on?
Just quickly, I'll wait for Jordan Richards to proceed round to the start line. Just to clarify the Tyler West and Jamie Carr battle, Tyler was at fault for the first pass when Tyler was leading. He had a big stall up between outer zone 3 and outer zone 4, which was the same as the Daniel and Jordan Richards first battle.
Right.
Tyler's chase, Jamie wasn't on the ideal line, but was still chaseable, and Jamie switched into outer zone 3. Tyler dived to the inside and made the contact, and he did not allow the lead car to switch and get back on throttle, so that is what they deemed.
Okay.
And the decision with the inquiry was not overturned. So thank you very much, boys, for that clarity.
Appreciate that.
Puts my mind a little bit at ease,
give us look, it'll put your mind at ease. Look, I'm sure from Tyler West's point of view, as a fierce competitor, it won't sit well for him. But look, after he has a chance to go away, have a beverage, cool down, talk about it with his team, maybe watch some footage. That's not ideal, Blake Miles. You shouldn't have run over the cone in the scrubbing box. We'll probably need to remove that before you start your pass. Again, just repeating that Blake Miles been offered a $1,500 bonus if he can win the second round, and Snake Eyes once again 1-1. It is a slightly different qualifying. Format, of course, because you do get your results off your finishing results yesterday. So. Benny, we are a time-critical event, and it sounds like Race Control just confirming, I believe, the 3rd and 4th place battle removed from the schedule.
That's right, that's right. So 3 battles remain in the Pro Sport round 2. Let's go. Blake Miles taking off 2 S15s, 2 JZ powered S15s. What are we going to see here?
All right, so win it or you're done. Your day is over if you lose this battle here, and potentially will appear on the podium with 3rd place points. Jordan Richards, I expect him to be right there, but Blake Miles looks like he's just gone up that extra gear, which we know that Blake Miles does have. Dr. Miles in the house there delivers another one of those clinical runs there, and Jordan closed up towards the end there, but Blake just kind of delivering that same sort of run that we've seen out of him all day.
Right till the end though, Blake Miles had what looked to be one wheel off in that last section. A little dirt drop right at the finish, but when you get to the pointy end of these battles, that could be all that takes to lose a battle. So Blake Miles on a stellar lead through outer zone 1. Big smoke screen in front of Jordan Richards. He does well to chase up, has to shortcut the track in outer zone 2 to move over to the last section. But there,
you're right.
Blake Miles
just out,
one tyre off, with Jordan Richards 2 tyres off, chasing him off. So depends on what the judges think there. Was Jordan Richards just chasing him off? They want him to follow him off?
Yeah, because there is sometimes that element of what they determine it is the lead car has led the chase car off, right? Because you're just following and using them as a mobile clipping point. So if Blake ends up too far up the track, but then Jordan's come from a long way down the track to go up, hasn't he?
He has. He's created
is that out
the correct arc?
Where is the conclusion of the section?
So the conclusion of the section is it's after that zone rolling out.
So you have to complete that entire zone between those 2 cones?
Complete.
Okay.
Correct. Complete.
Right. Okay.
Complete that zone.
Thank you, Ben, for clarifying that. I am going to you simply because I do know that you sat through, obviously, the driver's briefing, so you've been told from the horse's mouth, so to speak, how things are going to play out. And, well, look, pressure for the first time on Blake Miles. How does he respond?
One small mistake from Blake Miles. Let's see how we go here with Jordan Richards. I'd say he's going to apply some pressure to Jordan Richards early here.
Yeah, I don't think he'll give him a lot of room. I think he'll jump on the loud pedal early through the inside of the corner. You see him start to plan that attack right. He was right there within a car length straight away. And here comes Dr. Miles, the Terminator, the drift robot sent back from the future to change drifting for a pro sport kind. And here comes Miles. Now I think that's been caused by Blake carrying too much speed. I think he's thrown that away. Do you agree with me?
I think he's thrown that away, Warren. That's unfortunate there. I think Jordan Richards had a stellar lead run. He seemed to keep it on the track. Blake Miles just getting a little bit too greedy at the end, but right here in the start, right in the pocket, Warren, that's exactly where you want to be in as a chase car, away from the smoke screen, switching through the smoke, back into the pocket, sacrificing a touch of track position to be back up on it. But yeah, the lead for lead.
Because Jordan didn't
very
move.
Similar.
Jordan stayed exactly where he needed to. The difference subtly is that Jordan didn't put the wheel off like you picked up for for Blake the first time.
I think Jordan does, though. I think Jordan does
Did he?
put a wheel off here before the end of the section, so it's very similar to Blake Miles. Jordan here, just at the end of this zone. There we go. Richards is off there. Right there.
Yeah, there it is. Yep,
right
yeah.
there.
So there's the puff. So it is like for like. So
it's like for like. Blake Miles has a lot better proximity in the chase. So whether or not the judges look at that.
Are we getting all the way to the final 4 potentially, and then we see the one more time? Maybe. Could happen. Could happen.
Because the same mistakes. Darren might get on his phone and give me a text in a second and tell me what I've done it. I said it correctly, but it looks to me.
Would you argue though that Blake's proximity for the duration of the run was probably better?
Correct.
Yeah.
I do believe so. I believe that was a lot better proximity from Blake over Jordan's chase.
Yeah. All right, let's go down to Stephen McIvor and maybe a decision being locked in. We'll find out shortly. Blake Miles.
This is becoming familiar to you and me. You're through to battle to try and go back-to-back in rounds 1 and 2. Talk to me about that chase.
Yeah, still making mistakes in the chase, so I'm not quite happy with that aspect. We are pushing hard. I know I can trust Jordan. He's an amazing driver. He's a super fast driver. And I just pushed a little bit hard on the last corner and deep-headed a tyre, but we'll get it all fixed and go again.
Okay, mate, we'll just quickly talk to Jordan because they're not going to run the battle for 3rd and 4th, and I think it's qualifying will push them down to 4th. They're not going to run the battle for 3 and 4, just to let you know. And I think where you qualified, you got 4th.
Yeah.
You got to be happy with that.
I'm still not. I'm pretty stoked of it, considering the weekend we've had. A big one on Friday, and then yesterday just not getting any chase practice. But I think we've done a good job today to be happy with it.
It's been good watching you, good talking to you. We'll see you in Poke, eh?
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Riley McEwen, Trent Elmbranch for a shot at Blake Miles in the final. Will we have a repeat of round number 1 where Riley goes through, or will it be Trent Elmbranch for the first time? Riley McEwen got it off the line this time. The Dylan Restrick machine is being beaten on by Elmbranch to try and hang with Riley, but he has sacrificed a huge amount of angle to the inside there and got untidy. Riley out towards the edge of the track as well, but yeah, I think the mistake there made in the chase position from Trent Elmbranch as well. So not a great end to the run from an ideal run perspective for either, but pretty solid efforts as well, if that makes any sense. So just untidy closing things out. There is the, is it a straight line?
Touch of a wheel drop at the end, but whether or not they deem that at the end of the section, I couldn't see those cones if they've been toppled for the last battle, but man, that McEwen car is fast. That is a fast FC RX-7, that thing. They have got that thing hooked up for young Riley. You can see the difference in tyre smoke, showing that it's not burning the thing, it's driving forward. Little mistake there from Elmbranch in the last corner, having to take 2 dips at that final out of zone 4. And unfortunately, that could be the difference in this battle, but Riley, can Riley hold up in the chase now? He's so fast. Can he sit behind the Elmbranch car? That's the next thing.
But I feel like, I don't think Trent's holding back, right? So the question just becomes, how consistent is that speed delivery from Trent in Dylan's car? If it's consistent right from the start, I think Riley probably can play it smart, play the right game here, and take the fight right up to him with confidence. We certainly didn't see him back off yesterday at all in any of his battles, so I think he'll be relatively confident in his car control. He is a young man who does a lot of driving, does drifting, does speedway, carried the checkered flag plenty of times in his mini stock, so I don't think he'd be afraid of being in close proximity to another car. See what happens here.
Riley
taking a look at the Link ECU start box, and away they go. So he's got it off the line, which is important there, Benny, giving him some room here. I don't think he wants to give Trent too much room though. No, it looks like they're a reasonable formation there. There's about a car length difference, which is smart from Riley. Does know that Trent hasn't driven this car a whole lot of times, so there is the potential. Oh, Riley, what's happened? I think he's had the left foot brake and check up on that one. And then the Dylan Restrick owned car by Trent Elmbranch has got slow there, Ben. He's got shallow through the inside there, and it has forced Riley down to the inside and kind of closed down on him, which the judges I don't think really wanted.
Very shallow there in the last section with the Elmbranch car, shutting Riley out from being able to be up and close in proximity to finish out the lap. So Judges don't want to see that. As we see here, Riley had a slight little moment, but he gathered it back up. And as he switches through the last turn on the bumper of Elm Branch, he's shut out on that lower, lower half. The judges wanting mid-track around that last turn, up to outer zone 4.
So I thought Riley had actually made a mistake here just through the centre section, and you probably see it just through here.
Just a
He had
touch,
to get
I
out
think.
of it, yeah.
He just used a little bit of left foot brake possibly there to try and pivot the car back and switch the car back through the apex, but I definitely caught him off guard with how shallow Trent Elm Branch was there on the inner ribble strip.
So are we going to see a repeat, do we think, of yesterday's final, mate? I think we're I think we're pretty odds on for it, aren't we? Unless something unforeseen happens. Stephen is going to let us know who's going through to battle Blake Miles.
Okay, we're not going to muck around here because you've got to go and have a crack at trying to win this round. How did that feel? What happened in the chase?
I didn't think I did anything wrong, but I don't know. I have to have a look at it and see what I did, but yeah.
That's why I asked the question. Get out of here and get ready for the final. Okay, let's talk to Trent because it's been a hell of a weekend. But by the way, they're not running 3 and 4, but you do finish 3rd.
Oh, I lost for words, eh? Like, we came here with not much expectation, and what do I say? Apart from thank you to my sponsors, and sadly I couldn't have them on the car this weekend to represent them, so just thank you to Equipmaster in Tauranga and Suck It Up Malcolm Natai back in Christchurch, and BCE and NDT, like all those guys did so much to build my Camaro, and sadly we're not here, but maybe these S chassis are all right.
I tell you what, you're on the podium. Don't go too far, mate, because the podium presentation won't be too, so we'll expect to see you there in about 10 minutes, all right, mate?
Beauty.
Congratulations, you're on P3 for the round.
Unreal, unreal.
Go and enjoy it.
Fun little stat there for you, Benny. Trent Elm Branch to 3rd from qualifying position number 19. Jordan Richards, qualifying position 28, finishes 4th.
Wow.
So that would actually, I think, equal the best jump through the field that's ever occurred, with that record currently held at the moment, and I'm reminded of this each time, by our DSO, Joel Counter.
Wow.
So Joel Counter went from, I think it was about 24th, 25th to 3rd, finished on the podium. So 28, yeah, so
Not bad.
there goes a little bit of train spotting for you. I know Joel and his father Tony love having that one mentioned. Benny, I believe we're going to learn a little bit more about you now via an interview.
So Ben, welcome back to Pro and D1NZ. Why are you back?
Man, Pukekohe on the cards. I couldn't miss out. I grew up here in the stands watching motorsport. My family's been here. My family's been involved in this racetrack, so it plays a big part in my heart to come back and give it one more go.
The idea of one more time at the fastest drift corner, which we're sort of sitting on basically, what does that mean to you?
Well, for me, I've won here a couple of times. I watched my brother win a Pro Sport Championship here. It's just close to home, you know. We grew up 10 minutes south of here on a farm, so we used to come on in here and watch racing on the hill, watch the early days, the Marcus Ambrose, the Jason Bargwannas. V8 Supercars on the Ford Mountain was just was a family outing for the year.
Alrighty, the interesting news I find is that you've got new wheels, so you're not in the little 86s, you've got something special now lined up.
That's right, I'm back home in a Silvia. I grew up in a Silvia, driving around these corners. I won twice here in the Esthanine Pro Sport, so back in an S15, high-powered HRB 2JZ, makes 850 at the wheels, and just looking forward to tearing down this front straight for one more time.
I know you've been working on it and testing it. How does it feel?
Feels great. It's an all new look. Obviously Phoenix Radiators back me, of course. I'm just looking forward to getting in the seat come round 1 in Invercargill, and most of all, yeah, I can't wait to be here, pitting over there under a tent, pulling out onto the top of the hill and firing down into this corner. It's pretty special.
So as we welcome you back to Teretonga, we check out some of the amazing machinery parked up, just taking in the action. That car is known as Nectar. I'm not a Holden expert, I think it's an HQ, but it might be a slightly different model, but it's certainly got an engine on it, Benny, and I wouldn't mind cruising around in something like that. I was amazed by how strong the car scene is here in Invercargill.
Bet that thing can do a good burnout too. Look at the size of the tunnel rams coming out the bottom of that thing. That looks like it's a bit of a handful. What a beautiful car. I walked around yesterday and had a look at a couple of the vehicles down here, and they take a bit of pride in their cars down here. They do. Very, very cool cars around Invercargill.
They do. Speaking of taking pride in cars, Joe joined by Michael Thorley.
Alrighty, Mike. You didn't have the best run yesterday with stalling off the line, but you do get your chance at redemption today versus Clayton Daly again in the brothers' car. Tell us about how you're going to approach it differently.
So I spent all night YouTubing how to take off from the line and use a clutch. So we've got the L plates on. I think we should be good today. We'll smoke the tyres if we need to. Redemption, right? So let's see how we go and give them a battle actually today.
And you did bring two cars down, so you've got the 180, you did have the wife's car for backup. This one's been mechanically sound for you though, you haven't needed to switch?
Oh, this car is actually really good this weekend, it's flawless. And even if I swap cars, unfortunately that also has a clutch pedal, so I'd have the same problem yesterday. But yeah, the car's running awesome, the crew have had a good job done getting it ready out there. She's real grippy, so it is balancing that grip level, but yeah, the NZ Valvoline 180SX with those GT radials, can't thank them enough. Yeah, look, it's good out there.
So this car is good, and now all the pressure's on the driver.
No pressure.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mike. I don't think you're going to keep that car for very long, mate. I think your wife's going to take it off you, if I'm honest. I'd love to see Drift Mama come out here competing and doing a full pro sport season, and we hear it's potentially not far away. Now, a bit of quick information for you out there in live stream land. After we go off air here, we will be on Sky TV, so we are on Sky Channel 6 for the Pro Action this afternoon. Sky is your home of D1NZ Pro Action for 25-26, or you do have the option to buy a premium subscription for Oversteer TV for $9.99 per month, and you can check it out via YouTube on the Oversteer TV channel. It is available pay only, either via OTV or via Sky, and we also go live to KO and I believe Pacific Direct. So that is how you'll be checking out drivers like Benny and Mike Thorley this afternoon, and current series leader Dave Steedman, followed closely by Connor Halligan and Luke Fink. So I think it was a pretty solid result yesterday for Dave Steedman. Dangerous Dave, proving just how dangerous he is with 112 early points for him. And as I mentioned yesterday, Benny, Dave and Luke, the only two drivers last year to finish in the top 8 at every single round. And it is oh so important to lock in solid points each time you go out and compete here at D1NZ, the National Drifting Championship. So we're about to get underway for our final for Pro Sport. This is the 235 Development Series. A couple of interesting side wages coming in. Blake's boss offered him $1,000, and then his tuner, James from JT, threw an extra $500 in there. So Blake's got a $1,500 side wager riding on this, while Riley McEwen's been offered $5 extra pocket money from his father Ross, hashtag Dad's Pain, and an extra bag of chippies in his lunchbox for school next week. Ben's just chuckling away as he's starting to get prepared. I can see you've just subtly changed over the last 10 minutes. You're starting to get a little bit into driver mode now, because you do know that you've got a job to do this afternoon. I can see you starting to think about things. You're starting to look at track conditions. Now that we're watching, I guess these guys were laying very similar to pro runs down. You're starting to try and get a read on things, mate. I don't want to get too deep into your preparation, but there's a few things going through that brain of yours.
Yeah, a couple of things. Just having a look at the track conditions.
Other boys, do your spotters keep an eye on this as well? Are they sort of feeding stuff back to you as well, just in terms of things to think about while they're getting you ready? Because it's a process, right?
It's a process, 100%. We've got a buy run coming up. Normally you wouldn't take the buy run and you would just sit back and relax and wait for your pedal, but I think I'm going to take it. But here we go, the final for Pro Sport. Blake Miles, Riley McEwen.
Out of the Link ECU start box for the final time. Blake Miles will lead him away. Here's the current series leader, but hot on his heels. And second in points is Riley McEwen, the young 16-year-old. Blake the Dr. Miles in the house out front, laying down that clinical lead again. But here comes the young fella, Riley McEwen, for four-wheel drive warehouse on good ride tyres. FC RX7 in the rotary power, chasing down the 2JZ. And a nice solid way to kick off the final there, Ben. Not too many mistakes from either there.
probably, I'd almost be tempted to say equal either way. It would be very slight if there's an advantage.
I'm going to blow this apart and say that is an advantage to Blake Miles. Riley McEwen putting on a great chase, but as we come through this intersection, watch the angle of Blake Miles. He is still at pace and has a lot more angle right there than Riley McEwen in the chase. So there will definitely be an advantage here with Blake Miles, even though it was such a close chase from Riley McEwen. But the lead run was so pinpoint perfect for Blake Miles. It put on a show. It allowed Riley McEwen to get in those pockets.
Right, so if we're thinking kind of the old school 10-point scale, how much an advantage is that? Is that 5.5, 4.5? Is it 6.4?
It's 6.4. Yeah, to me, that is 6.4.
Okay, so it's not getting to dominant sort of 7.3ish. No,
not necessarily. If there was more mistakes from Riley McEwen, I mean, he did have a little bit of wavering here when he was entering. He didn't enter as hard as Blake Miles did, so there might be a slight deduction there that could go to a 7, but I would say 6.4 advantage to Blake Miles for me. His rate to angle, his speed at angle, he's not being reeled in by Riley.
Explain that just for our viewers there. Rate to angle?
How fast he gets there.
Right. Okay, so it's that simple, yeah. Just exactly interpret it as it sort of sounds.
Yeah, how fast he gets there, he gets settled, and he stays that angle. It doesn't do any wavering. That's what we want to see. That's what we try. That's what I'm going to try and do. So I'm going to try and do this afternoon.
All right, thank you so much, Ben Jenkins, of course, our technical commentator for Pro Sport, and he'll jump in, do some driving this afternoon. So the pressure now on the 16-year-old Riley McEwen behind the wheel of the Psycho RX. It is a Green Brothers built engine underneath the bonnet of the FC RX-7. Now, why is Blake Miles so far back there? Ben, did Riley miss one, or was Blake just a long way back and he's playing catch-up? Take it. Oh, Blake! Blake! There is it. He is not a machine. He is not a robot. Miles has gone miles off track. I dad joked it too hard, didn't I?
Damn, Blake. Poor man. Oh, well, that's all she wrote. I don't think there's any issues there with Riley McEwen's lead.
Riley, one of the extra bag of chippies.
He had a nice lead here, Riley. A little bit shallow at the start of out of zone 1, but he sort of got back into the pocket. He switched nicely.
I reckon that's all in that start. I don't think Blake meant to be that far back, and he's tried to play catch-up, and he's just got lost, hasn't he?
We might need to take another look at this. Is there a slowdown from Riley McEwen because he's coming up short after OZ2? Watch this. Slight entry in here from Riley McEwen. A little bit shallow, but gets into the end of the zone. And he switches up to OZ2. Now Blake's coming in with a rate of miles, but
really, I mean, I think he's on gas. I think in line with what we've seen in other battles.
You think Blake's just switched too soon?
I think Blake's oversped, to use the phrase we've been using. I think Blake has closed at a rate of knots, and that's what's caused it. But again, look, I'm not a judge. I can't put myself in the helmet, so to speak, to understand what's going on. So look, I'm sure the decision will be made in line with what the judges said to the drivers this morning. But hey, I wouldn't want to be one of those 3 guys, because as they said yesterday, there's going to be one guy that's real happy with them and about 78 others who think they don't know what they're talking about. So mate, you got to go and do some driving. Do you? You got to go and do some driving?
I do indeed. I'm out of here.
You can jump out of here. Your car's moved. Your car's been moved to the dummy grid, mate. Take your gummy.
I'll leave the gummies for you, mate.
Take the gummy worms with you if you want to, buddy. Good luck for this afternoon. Thank you, Benny Jenkins, for joining us here in commentary for Pro Sport for 25-26. Benny will be a regular feature, but he does need to go and do some driving. We go down to Stephen, and does he have a decision?
Well, I'm still waiting for the decision. It'll be done in my ear in just a moment. Well, let's talk to the winner of round 1 yesterday, Blake Miles. What happened on the chase?
Oh, just Mr. Consistent, wasn't very consistent. Just coming a bit too hot and sort of choked up. Too much of an aggressive switch and wrong timing, and we come off the track.
Well, you're not perfect then?
Not perfect, no, not by any means.
Yeah, okay, but to make a final second time round must be feel good, right?
Yeah, no, we're still really happy with the weekend, and all credit to Riley. He's been driving so well this weekend, so good on him.
Okay, we do have a decision, and the decision is round 2 on D1NZ Pro. Your round winner is Riley McEwen.
Well done, brother. That's awesome.
It was probably pretty obvious. You've got to keep the thing going when he went off. But okay, so you've P2 yesterday, P1 today, last year's scholarship. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm on quite the run at the moment, eh?
What do you put this down to? I mean, let's be blunt. You know, people are saying, oh, what? He's a scholarship. He's a kid. Now he's, P2 in the championship as well.
Yeah, I've just been trying to get consistent. And, yeah, when I came up against Blake, I was nervous. So I just had to 100-point runs. And then, yeah, I was pretty fortunate that he went off there. Gave me a bit of an advantage. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy.
I've got to talk to you about how you've mastered the art of drifting at this early, right? And there's a long way to go. We know that, right? Coaching, sim, where are you getting it from?
My dad's done it for his whole life, so I sort of like grew up around it, and then just did a few days when I was like real little, like 12 years old, on Renee Richmond's like drift pad, and yeah, that's where it started. But then I got a sim, started getting better, and yeah.
All right, mate. Well, you hang over that Teng Tools podium because we're going to do the podium. Go on, get over there. You're going to get to get on the top step because it is time for the Teng Tools podium. And of course, those Teng Tools kits with about $9,000 will go to the round winner. So, presenting the trophies today will be Megan Foster, the media and marketing manager for D1NZ. In fourth position was Jordan Richards. But in position 3, give it up for Trent Albranch. Pretty happy with that result. You would have heard it in the post. In second position, and your series leader, Blake Miles. They'll also get a pile of Logitech gear. Logitech, of course, don't forget about the Logitech virtual drift competition. Go to D1NZ.com. And your round 2 winner for the first time. P2 yesterday, P1 today, scholarship last year, top step today, Riley McEwen. What? Yeah. Well, gentlemen, you can raise those trophies high for the photos. And now there's some bubbles left for you to spray. Make the most of it. You've earned it. There is your podium for round number 2 of D1NZ Pro here at Teretonga. And that's how we wrap up run number 2 in pro sport, should I say, pro sport. And Riley McEwen just surprising everybody, but maybe it's not such a surprise. You've heard that he's talking about dad and doing a lot of work on this one, and that's how it rolls. So that is pro sport, all wrapped up. Joe Maulder just jumps in beside me because this has set the scene for one stunning pro sport season. Just quickly, your reaction to that final?
Yeah, not what you'd expect for Blake to be making a mistake, but he hasn't, as he said, been the best on his chases. So he's got a bit to tidy up for Pukekohe because that's an intimidating track.
So there we go. Our thanks to Warren Sare and Ben Jenkins. Ben Jenkins about to jump out of there and jump into his Fenix S15 to battle in the Pro. And round 2 of D1NZ Pro is coming up live on Sky Sport and KO from 2:15 this afternoon. We shall see you there for more of the Smoke Show.